Okay, I mean, I'm streaming now.
All right. And it's working. I can see.
Oh, nice.
I can see your Steam.
Yeah.
Did you make your monitor HD?
No, but I should do that actually.
Okay.
What is the stream on at the moment?
YouTube, but it's private, so you can't see it. Well, unless you're, in the right place.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't expect to be able to see it. So, Chris told, where the fuck is the build? Edit Steamworks settings. Yes. It's quite noisy. L, I think it's you. I'm not sure though.
It is. I'm getting the cats out of the bedroom.
Okay, 112 for sling. Yep. All right. Let's do it. Love these builds 15 minutes before the event, Fighty.
They should be
Default.
pretty good.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bite my words, I guess, if it crashes and burns. There's one thing I didn't have for survival, and that was a victory. You just kill the last waves, and then nothing happens. So it's the one thing I wish I could have changed.
All good. So, how do people launch survival? Is it just a special map that you pick?
It's literally the map will be named whatever map underscore survival underscore difficulty. So it'll be, there is time underscore survival underscore brutal or hard or God Gamer.
All right. So I pushed it, and I guess it doesn't matter, but maybe, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was going to say you can change to the default branch, but it would make no difference.
I will do that just because.
We should list the balance patches, what actually changed. So the chosen T2 radar nerfed.
It's too difficult. 9. Almost every single. There's about like 200 changes on templates.
Jesus.
I mean, maybe I can get a Claude to.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just raiders changed.
No,
Okay, it's not. So
yeah,
fine.
we did.
Well, let's just describe it in abstract. So we
Yes.
changed lots of stats for tanks, and
T2 and
it's all
T3.
just tanks.
Just say we rebalanced T1. We didn't really rebalance. We rebalanced Raiders, T1 Raiders, and rebalanced T2 and T3 units. That's basically what happened. So, if you want to be more abstract, you can say that they are more cost efficient or they are better. Or if you want to even be shorter, I guess you could say T1 spam is no longer like T1 spam.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I've done it. I just said T1, T2, T3 efficiency changed. So now I need to.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okie dokie. Good job getting multiplayer survival up. I'll be interested. That's a fun way to play together.
Indeed.
Okay, so do you want to have something on the screen, Phony, so that once we go live, it's already
Interesting.
good? Yeah.
Do you want a game, or do you want me to just put on a video?
Yeah, you could just put on a video. Literally any video from any YouTuber would do the trick.
Get rid of these.
There's loads now listed in videos and screens.
Oh, that's true. You're so right. It's funny as I've probably watched most of these. It's kind of weird. Like, I'll get off work and then I'll watch videos about the game. It's like, what? My brain damage?
way-
Like I just just got off work and now I'm just watching.
Now he can bill for time when he's not even working. Let's see how this works, Phony.
Yeah, it's already halfway
Nope.
through this.
Okay, here we go.
That was always my joke
Send
at the
them
pub
in.
after work. I'd be like, man, work sucks. Well, we're talking about work, so now we can bill for this time. Need to go blow my nose. So, Al, are you doing questions from both? Or do you want to just do half? Because Aaron can do some of it.
If Aaron wants to get involved, then I'm happy for us to split the workload. Otherwise, I can handle both, but it's probably easier at 3 o'clock in the morning for it to be split.
Well, as long as
What
I'm doing
whatever
would be
that noise
helpful to
is,
you.
whatever that noise is, it's very loud. There's some crackly that noise or something.
Aaron's eating.
I was just rearranging the freezer. Sorry, there's a lot of ice being moved.
Okay.
But yeah, Al, if it would help, I could message Discord questions. I haven't got the YouTube one. I can't see it.
Yeah,
You
you'll
won't
just
be able
be
to
reading
yes,
them
because it's
aloud.
not live. So it's just a case of coming into the stage and coming up onto the stage and reading out the questions so that we don't have an influx of people coming up and asking them in voice. Is that okay?
That would be lovely if I could have gotten onto the stage, but I still haven't beaten age verification yet.
All right. Well, there's no point then, Aaron.
I'll do them both. It's fine.
Sorry I couldn't be of help.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. If you're a child, there's only so much you can do, isn't there? So it's fine.
Well, I'm just I'm an objecting adult to age verification.
My
Conscientious
13-year-old
objector.
kid has it. I don't know why you got it. Anywho, all right. Let's think. Got 5 minutes left. So, Phony, are your audio settings okay? Did you reduce the volume of things so it's not going to be too loud for people, like the in-game music or something?
I mean, I haven't changed them since what they were before. So,
All right.
so if it was good before. Then...
Well, maybe that's something you can do, Aaron. Is you can just once things get going, just make sure that the audio balance is okay on YouTube and on Discord for everybody.
Yeah, I can do that. Who would you like me to DM so I'm not so I
You
can talk to
DM
somebody?
me. So
All right, I'll DM your phone if there are issues with the audio.
Phony.
sweet.
The correct pronunciation is phony.
Sorry, Fanny, I forgot the second E. Not good enough. Got to up my game.
All right. I guess we're good.
Fucking hell, it's only 5 minutes, man. Oh yeah, okay.
You woke up like a boxer today, Al. You got your thumb patched. Got your
I
leg.
know.
What happened?
Carrying an injury. I don't know. It's alcohol related.
Oh no.
This is what I'm saying. I went to a festival on Saturday and I got really, really drunk all day. And then on Sunday morning I was like, ow, my thumb really hurts, and it's just got worse and worse and worse, and the infection was spreading. So I went to the hospital yesterday and they just stuck a needle in it, released loads of pus,
Wow.
gave me some antibiotics. So have you little shithead, get out. The man
So
is breaking
Funny,
the bedroom.
you still have 2FA issues and stuff, right? You can't make the stream live yourself.
Let me try. To be honest, I haven't been trying to do other solutions, so let me see. No, that's not what I wanted. We can try this one, and then if I go live, it should prompt me with. Oh, it works. Okay. We're saved. So I guess they finally figured it out. I didn't get an email or anything. We're saved. Okay, well that's pretty nice. So
Now in stream settings, if you click
Yeah.
on the bottom left, stream settings.
this one? Oh, sorry, no. Yeah.
There's a tab called stream settings down the bottom left.
I have the stream settings.
You're in analytics. Click on stream settings.
I'm on stream settings.
Oh, you're not. Fucking hell.
I've
I wonder what
clicked
the
it.
delay is like. Maybe I'm in the past.
You must have wind back in the past or something, because This is
Anyway,
analytics,
then you can
this is
press
stream
the
settings.
edit. You can go edit button, and then you can change the privacy to live.
Okay, sweet.
That's all I was trying to say. I thought I was watching your screen, but I wasn't.
Should we do some clickbait? Should we go like multiplayer survival or something?
Yeah.
I think. What do they do in these days? The RTS I've been waiting for.
You guys can just start a multiplayer survival game now if you want. Aaron, you could just join Phony on a game.
Sounds good. I'm just quickly doing the update for whatever it was that was just pushed.
Alright.
And I can't see the YouTube stream yet. I'm pressing F5
That's
like my life
intentional.
depends on it.
That's intentional.
That's
I'm
all
gonna
good then?
just quickly drop this onto Twitter or X. Then I'm going to nip over onto the stage and just starts in a minute. Nip over onto the stage and just.
I think my audio is good. I'll test it again when I get in the game. The game audio is a little loud, actually.
Well, that's right, we have to do the King of the Hill Phony
Yeah, we got
deathmatch. Alright, shall we move over to the stage, gentlemen?
See you there.
I'll see you there.
Sweet.
Where the.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
What's shaking, bacons? Hope everyone's having a great day. Everyone chilling out, having a good time, playing Sanctuary, playing other games, playing no games. Some people play games to relax, but games just stress me out. They're not games to me, you know? And after I play games, I need to do something else to de-stress. So that's the irony there.
Good morning.
Good morning, Al. What's your favorite game?
Of all time?
In the last year that you've played, what's hot at the moment?
It's Sanctuary Shattered Sun.
Second favorite?
The one I've been playing the most recently is Space Marine 2.
Oh yeah.
Very
I
strategic.
haven't played it. Is it a shooter?
It's a third-person run around, killing everything sort of game. So it kind of it's good for getting out some aggression.
Yeah. That's the one with all the
Very good.
cool Gothic architecture. Yeah, like the cathedral and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That looks immaculate.
Yeah,
I
man.
would play it just to like do that. I play RimWorld basically, which I think is one of the greatest games of all time. To be honest, I love it. Is the YouTube stream is live, right, Phony?
It is indeed.
So, I need to enable multiplayer. Damn it! Sorry, sorry everyone. My bad. Here I
Whilst
am,
you're
just
doing that,
tapping away.
If people want to ask questions, drop them into the chat on the stage on the right-hand side. And also, if you watch this on YouTube, put questions into the chat and we will get to you.
Yeah, and
Questions.
100%. Phony's favorite game?
Favorite game? It's got to be Sanctuary Shattered Sun. Second favorite game
No.
has got to be
Yeah.
Sanctuary Shattered Sun demo.
Ah,
See.
Phony can't take you anywhere. Third favorite game?
It's probably Shogun 2 Total War. It's one of the Total Wars, probably.
Mhm.
I haven't been playing them recently. The game I've been playing most recently has been Deadlock. So
I don't know, Deadlock.
it's
What's
like
this?
it's the newest game from Valve. So it's kind of still in beta, but that's been some fun. It's a third-person game, third-person kind of shooter game.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty. So,
I have a question. It was something that came up on Reddit yesterday. When the seas are frozen, you can build on the ice, right?
mm-hmm.
What happens if the cryo tank is repaired?
It all sinks and dies. So don't build your stuff on ice, guys. Don't do it. Phony, do you want to stream on Discord as well?
I believe I am. Am I not? Did it cancel it?
You're not streaming on Discord that I see.
Ooh, I think I canceled it. Give me a second.
And play an interesting video, because right now it's boring.
Yeah, sure.
We just see a lobby. So we just got to wait a little bit, guys, for a few more people to come. We have 34 people in the audience at the moment. Thanks for coming. I have deployed the change so that multiplayer gets activated. It will take a few minutes to kick in. And I'll let you know when it's working.
Only we have challenges for King of the Hill.
Well, this is going to be really interesting because if you notice the patch notes, there's been quite a bit of balance changes. So everyone who's been training in all these multiplayer playtests, myself included, are going to be a little bit out of their comfort zone. Not really sure what to expect. So
that battleship is toast.
we might be hyping me up for a terrible loss on the first game. Who knows?
Now, in the meantime, let's go ahead.
Is B5 live here? Of course you can't speak, but type in the chat if you are.
It doesn't appear so.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we? What we'll do is B5 is when we start the first match, we will invite you up onto the stage. Okay. You ready to take the title of Ultimate Gamer?
So the issue I'm having right now is I can share to the stage the Sanctuary app, but I cannot just share my screen. I'm not quite sure why that is. So I've just realized I've been playing a video that no one has been seeing except the stream. The share screen button is grayed out for me. Does anyone know why that might be the case?
On Discord?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. I turn off my camera now, try it.
Yep. Okay.
Only
I can
one
hear
person
now.
can stream at a time.
I see.
We don't want to watch me. What am I doing? Okay, multiplayer is working, guys. So if you all want to play skirmish and multiplayer and all that, you can do it now. And if you all want to stick around and do some question and answers and watch some games and stuff, we can do that instead. So, you're welcome.
What I've already mentioned or noticed is that there is one here, so we're going to go ahead and capture that, but there's a lot of units to go through.
If anybody has a question or an answer,
Yes. Yes,
We
there's
can
some
do it.
questions. Are you ready?
okay. Yeah, let's dig in.
Duskfall would like to know, are there any plans to make each faction's navy unique as of current, or is it still very much in the we have navy but not a direction yet phase?
Yeah, there's no real direction for Navy at all, but just in general, the approach is going to be to come up with like a couple of different pillars of how we want the balance to go around. So, you know, this team will have really cheap destroyers or something that becomes a pillar, or this unit's really fast or whatever, and then we just balance everything all around those kind of key decisions. But yeah, none of that's done, because Navy wasn't even in scope until like a week ago.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's upgrade it. How are we doing over here?
But would like to know, is it planned to be buildable on the sea floor?
Yeah, you can build on the seafloor, but only some buildings, right? Like you can't build a factory on the seafloor, but you know, maybe like a torpedo launcher or something. So you've got land, seafloor, and ice, and then the ice layer sort of changes whether that's buildable or not. It's kind of crazy. So are we going to start the 1v1s now? Is that the idea?
So, speaking of tier 3,
Oh, we can do. Tony, are you up for it?
Yeah, give me a second. I think I need to download the update or something on Steam. I'm realizing people have a different version than myself.
Well, let's unpause.
I
Okay.
I
have.
don't know why that one was paused.
Let's see.
There we go. Get that
I'm
going
on.
again.
I'm on the old version. Looks like I need to
Pretty good over in
restart
the
Steam.
southeast.
Get the,
Okay.
A lot of units
Well,
up here.
whilst you're doing that, Corey would like to know, well, he says there's some confusion about what Phantom's game mode is. Mike, can you explain it, please?
You know what? I never really played Phantom as a subcom player myself, but the way I understand it is one or some of the players are like the imposter, they're like the Phantom, and they get like a big resource boost compared to other players, and the other players don't know who is like, you know, the Phantom. And after a certain timer expires, then all is revealed, and then all the non-phantoms try and kill the phantoms, and apparently that's really exciting and fun. So it becomes like a, you know, everybody versus the phantoms, but the phantoms have super economies. But there wasn't really ever the sort of game I played. I used to like be really into the like ladder type of game mainly, just super
You got it.
super serious 1v1 stuff, which doesn't mean I was good at it, but that was what I was into.
Everything and build. You heard
Phony's just getting his computer sorted for a 1v1.
Indeed, indeed. The Phantom game mode's pretty political, right? So the Phantoms do get a resource increase, but they get more over time. So basically, no one kind of knows who's the Phantom until the game goes on, and there's a lot of speculation and alliances
Oh, one is done.
and uncertainty. And then eventually, after a certain amount of time, when effectively the bonus is at its max, the Phantoms are revealed, and then it kind of becomes an all-out war with these kind of powerful foes. So it's very interesting.
There we go. Let's just build one for the moment.
Yeah, and for anybody,
Rally out.
multiplayer's working, you might have to restart
Possibly attack
Sanctuary
with
to get it, but it's on.
I kinda wanna destroy this thing first. Who is
For
this?
24
Their
hours,
base.
so enjoy.
I don't know if this is theirs.
So whoever Wildstar is, I just noticed that he was on. He hasn't updated to the new version, which is funny. He had a lobby open. Look how fast these lobbies go. In and out and out.
Second one is done.
Next question,
Mhm.
Zephyron would like to know, is multiplayer available for everyone or just backers?
Well, right now it's for everyone, but and then there'll be another multiplayer session in a week.
I wanna
But after that, it's just backers. So if you want multiplayer and skirmish, and you want frequent updates, then you got to be in on the beta tier of Kickstarter. Otherwise, you're waiting for early access, which will be a year. So now's the time. Don't miss out. Panic.
Don't panic.
All right. Well, I guess we should open the 1v1s. I've hosted a game.
Okay.
We cannot deal with
B5, can you request to speak and I'll drag you up?
We're gonna start firing with the anti-air on it.
Let me turn off the stream in the background. I'm realizing.
Okie dokie. Any more questions, El?
Yep, B5, if you just click the little hand symbol at the bottom to request to speak, and then I can authorize your request and you can come up onto the stage, mate. There was a question from the War Chicken. That's his new name. He claims to be the War Raven, but he was too scared to challenge Phony, and he would like to know if there'll be a rating system in the beta, in multiplayer in the beta.
Yes. Oh, in the beta. Specifically the beta?
Yeah.
Well, definitely not straight away.
Yeah.
At some point we'll have that, but we can't really comment on when that'll be. But somewhere between early access and beta will come the ladder and ranking systems.
Let's see if I can find B5. There we go. Invite to speak. There you go. B5. You should have a request. There we go. B5's in.
You can also watch us on YouTube if you don't want to be in this Discord channel, by the way. It's a little bit higher latency.
There's a link in the chat. It is also a bit of a delay on YouTube. So choose.
All right. So
there's a question on YouTube asking if artillery turrets will be more useful against units than static structures. No. We made them stop tracking units, so they will shoot at where the unit. They won't hit moving targets, basically. But they'll hit some other tank instead. So they're not very accurate, but they'll still do some damage against larger armies. But they're really for killing structures. You were saying, Fody?
No, you answered it perfectly. My question is, who am I waiting to 1v1? Because I figure we should probably get started soon.
Mm-hmm.
Give the people what they want.
B5, who has been invited into the stage. Do you want to sort that out and get into the right lobby?
So B5 Phony is hosting a game called Dev 1v1, and you can join that now. And Math and Anubis need to leave because this is not a game for them to play. This is the battle of the century.
This is the ultimate gamer battle.
They left immediately, so thank you for tuning into
Wow.
the stream. They are here.
Very nice. So B5, we're waiting for you. But we don't have to start with B5. If there's another contender, we can just kick it off with them.
This is very true. This is very true.
Is B5 still in the chat?
Deribus
Oh, is
says
he-
he's up for a match now. So
Deribus was next in line.
Right,
He was
do
next
it.
in line.
That'll be a good one because I watched him play the other day and Bernie might be in trouble.
Oh, man. All my Total War experience is not helping, anymore.
Okay.
Immediately.
Deribus, hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. The good news is if Phony loses, he can blame it on me stream sniping. But I don't have any.
Well, at least he's honest about it.
Yeah.
I'll just minimize it.
If you lose, you can just blame it on dev tools and you know.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, let's not do a mirror matchup. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
No pressure. No pressure.
Phony beats me all the time, so it's going to be quite satisfying to watch him get destroyed at some point today.
I make no such promises.
I'm really unfamiliar with the current balance. A T1's effectively the same, but T2 and T3 are now much more impactful. So it's no longer spam T1 and fight with it. So you have to be a good player now, which is starting to get bad for me, for a guy like me.
Whilst this is loading, Mike, is refueling going to be a thing?
Probably not. That's kind of like a annoying fidgety micro thing. So probably not. Maybe it's necessary, but you know we definitely don't want
What
to
about
go there.
repairs?
Yeah, I guess you could have some sort of auto repair facility. That's fine. Yeah, in like an air staging type thing, which is what I think you're talking about.
Okay, the game is on.
The game is
Game
on.
is on.
And because everyone, including my enemy, can hear me, I'm going to have to play mind games. So I have a new opening that I've been testing here.
Only starting Big Bot.
That's very true.
So you guys probably don't know who Deribus is, but he's actually a moderator over in FAF, and I think you're a association board member as well. Is that true?
That is true.
There you
I
go.
was also treasurer for a while, but that is a thankless job. I dropped it on someone else as soon as I could.
Yeah, great. So what I'm saying is it's the Sanctuary team versus the FAF team. So Winnie, you kind of have to win.
Oh, okay. Way to pile on the pressure.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
The battle for the ages.
Well, now I have to win. My boss is telling me to win.
I really like these map gen maps. They're really quite nice. And there was a nice. Did you see, Phony, the map generator UI thing that
Yes.
Iliax made? That was really interesting.
Yeah. The procedural one?
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure if that's just sitting on top of map gen or what, but it's a UI where you can generate maps, but you can change all the parameters and watch what they do, and you can actually sort of more create maps than have random maps.
Yeah.
And exaggerate cliffs and wear them down and all that sort of stuff. Storm Before Dawn has asked for patch notes. In the releases channel, there are some bullet points, but they are really not very thorough, so no. And Corey put a link to it. Thank you very much. It's funny, the artillery question got asked in both YouTube and in Discord. All that weird shooting backwards stuff should be much improved now. They probably won't do that because we stopped them tracking targets.
It's a question from No Soup for You. Cool
I
name.
like that.
Is there any intention to give the current T4s more mechanics than what they already have?
I don't know what you quite mean by that, but at the end of the day, they're just gonna like shoot and build and things like that. Some people talk about being able to upgrade them. That's probably not going to happen. Or powers, like an overcharge type power. That's probably not going to happen either. And that's all because of our usual key reasons for doing anything, which is you should be able to scout for everything and understand it, and you shouldn't have micro stuff. So, some other people talked about like hard points, and you could build point defense on your experimental. So let's see how this battle's going. Probably similar amounts of units, I would say. Phony seems to be in a slightly better position.
When you
But I
want a
can
question, Mike,
from
just
Phony's point of view. Yeah.
when you want a question, just ask me rather than me trying to fit them in.
I might just go through all the Discord ones. So, is there no way to make a private lobby in multiplayer? Correct. There is no way. There is lots to do. You already did the refueling one. Is there more on Discord? Let's catch up.
Yes. Deribus, you had a question.
I did.
Do you want to ask it?
No, I'm otherwise occupied.
Okay. Is Sanctuary getting DLSS or other super sampling support?
Phony, do you want to answer?
He's
That
otherwise
is
engaged.
not on the roadmap. As far as I'm aware.
No, we don't have anything like that on the radar. By the way, Deribus, I don't know if you've tried Dash yet. but
Oh,
Dash
why
is
would you
definitely a
tell him
thing.
that?
I have
And,
started building storage for it.
Yeah, good, because it's pretty.
It's pretty important.
You're gonna lose if you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I would say. Whoever starts using that in a 1v1 is gonna crush. Yeah, so not on the cards at the moment. That's not a terrible idea. Deribus has quite a lot of units there, and they're all doing the Raid of the Century. There is a point defense there, but we should be able to take care of that. And Phony's just going in for the kill. Dash into a commander. Haven't seen that before, actually, so that's interesting. And it's kind of fun to watch Phony play, to be honest. Yeah, there's the dash. You need to split your units, Phony, so that they don't get crushed in a dash. You need to spread them more. Yeah. So Deribus is trying to hold with just his commander and continues to raid while this battle is going on, which is what we like to see. And Phony continues to build while this battle is going on. So I think Phony came out of that on top, to be honest. And Phony's pushing in. And see how much it changes once you have, an overcharge equivalent. Because in all the 1v1s that we played, you just never got to this stage of the game where you'd just be walking into a base. Shame you can't scout though. It would be nice to know what's going on in his base. Like, he has no units, so maybe he has T2, or what does he have? He has an idle factory. Okay.
They'll just clarify out the seafloor. Will eco be possible to be built on the seafloor?
Yeah, extractors, yes. There's underwater extractors, but underwater power generators, I would probably say no. You could probably
Did
dash
you-
through his P-gens there. Although they have the volatile damage,
Yeah, they
don't
have the
they?
volatile,
So,
so be careful.
yeah.
Don't be coaching him. He doesn't need any help.
He's doing very well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Phony, did you get my message? Did you get my message, Phony, about you being a little bit quiet on YouTube?
I can turn it up, but maybe after. After I win.
Okay. I'm going to come to YouTube for some questions now, Mike, if that's alright.
Yeah, okay.
Saturn asks, have any plans to make artillery turrets useful against units rather than just static structures?
No, like we've talked about this a lot, but I think I already answered this question, to be honest, but to go over it again. What we want to do is the artillery is meant to be killing stationary stuff, right? It's optimized for that. It did have some weird stuff where it was shooting backwards, but that should be finished now, so give it another look, guys. It won't track moving units, and it will, if your units move, the bullets will like miss, but because you have like 10 units, it'll just hit some other one instead. So artillery is still useful against armies, but it's not good against specific units. I wonder how much HP is on that commander, because Phony has been wearing it down for a long time. And Phony's commander, oh, that was nice dodging out of that, because there was a lot of, yeah, you gotta sort out your waypoint. Because there was point defense. Phony had walked into point defense and he dashed out of it, so that was a nice defensive dash. And I find it unbelievable that you're building factories up on the front line right in front of his base. This is not something that I normally see that happen, so this is very interesting. What is the range on the dash? They're probably using it at max range already, and the power bill goes up depending on how far you go exponentially. So if you do a long dash, it uses tons and tons of power, but if you do a short dash, it's just 1 ton of power. What happens when 2 commanders dash into each other simultaneously? I did not think of that.
They just clank.
I don't know.
They clank.
They just like bang heads and
Yeah.
stuff. There you go.
Now, Dash isn't going to be available to all factions, is it? It's just at the moment for all factions. The other general gets something different. Is that correct?
100%. So the current plan is Dash is intended to be a chosen power. It's like really doing the sci-fi chosen vibes type of thing. It's not, it doesn't make sense for like an EDA power at all. So we do want each commander to have its own sort of overcharge mechanic. We have not spent any time thinking about what those mechanics might be yet. Dash was just the first one, and it was to sort of show the sort of stuff that we can do, right? Like it's a showcase of the potential. And I think, you know, some people have said that it's not their favorite, it's too anime, it's too like cute and cartoony. I think this game's over, Deribus. Like, if you can come back from here, I will personally give you $500. Like, there's no way. It's done.
I'm optimistic.
All right, man. Well, good luck.
It's deserved, no, but
So, yeah, there's some, you know, people who don't like Dash, so, you know, we'll just see how it goes, and like all ideas, you know, we can change them. We're not, like, locked in to things. Wow! Like, I do think that Dash
It's
is a little bit overcooked.
Yeah, it's a little bit strong. We kind of have it like a almost like a T2 upgraded Dash already, like.
Yeah, that's right. But it is certainly fun to play with, I think. And it's nice.
unfortunately without Vet, I just can't sustain the engagement. Well played, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played.
Good job. That was an interesting 1v1 though. Like in the early battle, you know, we had the raids going on and rebuilding and stuff. So it was nice to see some play at this tier.
Can I report my loss as a bug?
No.
Mike, are you ready for your special guest?
No.
There's a request
Well,
to speak.
Is it here?
Yes.
Yeah, come on in. Hello.
Hello.
Deathbot 9. Hello, how's it going?
I I didn't know who you were talking to. Hey, good. Thanks for inviting me to witness history in the making.
Hello, Deathbot 9. Would you like to introduce yourself for the uninitiated?
Oh, But you can hear me okay, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, uh, Introduce myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm a game designer. Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Okay.
designed a few games over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them better than others. Some that I'm sure people played back in the '90s. One was called Total Annihilation. I
Ah.
don't know if you remember that. Do you remember that one, Mike?
I've heard of it before, yeah.
Before I was born.
Yeah, that's it
Yeah.
though. My fan base is dying now at this point. Okay,
Yeah. That's
a little
funny.
concerning, but there's a few out there still. Yeah, so yeah, then some other games that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm thrilled. You guys are keeping the RTS dream alive. It's wonderful to see that, and I love listening to your conversation while you were describing artillery fire. I
Ah.
felt like the guy in the uh, the gray haired old guy in the living in the mountains going,
Luke
I see.
Skywalker on the island.
Yeah, something like that. So that was fun. That was fun to listen to. And you were right, by the way, Mike. I give you top score. Yes, indeed. Artillery fire. It would have to lead an individual unit, predict where it's going, and then place fire. It's an interesting concept, but it would never have a practical application. So well done on that. So, anyways, I
Yeah.
probably said too much. So I shall go back and into the mountains.
No, stay. We want to talk to you. So, Chris Taylor, everybody, godfather of RTS. Thank you for coming to visit. Chris, you have a heart of gold. We didn't ask Chris we didn't beg him to come or anything. He just offers to do really nice stuff, and he's backed the project. Game consultant, right? So all the game consultants out there will be in good company, and just thank you as usual, Chris, for your support. It's been really great. And yeah, it's just great to have you here. So normally we have hundreds of people here, but they're all playing. So what we do is at the moment, Sanctuary, you can only play multiplayer at certain times, and now is one of those times. So everyone's just off playing, and no one's here listening to us. I think there's a few people on YouTube as well, but if you think, don't judge us because there's 33 people in the crowd, and also I think a lot of people will watch this afterwards, so there'll be more views coming.
Oh,
But
I like these explosions.
with the artillery thing, what we had is the problem when we were target leading, and because the arcs are so high that you would end up with artillery shooting backwards behind themselves, because that's how long it would take to intercept the units. So it was a bit ridiculous.
I'm having a
Yeah.
huge fanboy moment right now. So it's really exciting. Chris, would you be willing to answer some questions if people had any?
Sure, fire away.
Do you hear that, guys? If you've got questions for Chris, then put them in the chat, and we will pass them on.
Well, I guess I have a question. And what would you do? What would you put in a new RTS?
Well, it's I won't be coy. I will tell you that I am working on an RTS, but it runs in the browser. It's my Kanugi project, and it started off as being wireframe and very simple, but then it grew and grew, and now with some wind at my back, I'm able to expand on that. And what I'm looking at is I just did an experiment to just yesterday where a group of tanks, like I use 50 as sort of a sample of them, would approach another 50. Just kind of have these little standoffs, that you can kind of. It's like an A/B test in a sense. Kind of you can test the way the weapons work. It's like a balance thing, right? So 50v50, and the idea was one of the sides, when the tanks would start to take damage, they'd fade back and the next row would sort of step up, kind of almost like old Civil War, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm out of ammo, or I'm injured, so I'm going to fall back, or even medieval type fighting, and the units got chewed, just absolutely destroyed. So that was a fail, right? And so it's like, okay, that's not going to work, because we sort of, there's a part of me that's like, come on, and who rushes to the front and just keeps going until they die. Like, it kind of felt like it's very contrived. But the reality is, it's good gameplay, right? And gameplay always wins over reality, over practicality, over not over reality, practicality, and sorry, good gameplay always goes over theory and what you might hypothesize is realism. Realism never wins over gameplay. So there, I know that was a mess, but you guys, I think, understand what I'm talking about.
We use the term rule of cool in our team, so we try and keep it all realistic and stuff, but sometimes things are too cool not to do, so we just do it the cool way.
Yeah. Well, who really taught that? And I'm sure if you go back in movies, you see it. But like George Lucas, right? Like, he's got lightsabers. He's got all this ridiculous stuff that you just know is physically impossible. But it's damn cool. It makes for a better movie, right?
Yeah, I think people they're willing to suspend it for a bit, but you can't cross into like just being absolutely ridiculous all the time.
Yeah, you can't live in the ridiculous all the time. Exactly. Well said. So, yeah. So, are you guys getting a boost from AI at all, or is that the thing you don't talk about? Is that like a dirty word right now? Where are we at? Where are we at with AI?
We don't use it for art because we would get murdered for it, but also not really sure how useful it is for 3D models anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
But some of our modders do, and holy crap, the development pace outstrips ours. So it's really interesting to watch like their stuff just fly up, and I'm kind of jealous. Like, man, why can't we do that? For code, it's quite useful. It's definitely useful for like analyzing the code base and just helping you find bits and work out stuff. Some of the devs have used it to make big parts of code. We had like one case where we were able to sort of like lockstepify all of our unit movement stuff, because we were just streaming out unit movement, but we had to lockstep it, and that took like 3 days or something instead of like the 30 days I thought it was going to take. So that was huge. But
the multiplayer
doesn't
survival that we recently enabled, we had already written the code and everything for, but we hadn't gotten it in Lua yet, and so that was something that AI could have done very, very easily, right? To just be like, yeah, we have this code that works for single player, let's make it multiplayer enabled.
Yeah, I should introduce the team, Chris. So with us in this channel is Al, who is our community manager, and he's he just helps manage all the Discord and YouTube and socials and people. And Phony is actually our lead programmer, so he's actually near you over in Seattle, which is interesting.
Yes.
Seattle.
Oh yeah, cool.
And there's heaps of other people. What? Sorry, can you say that again?
Is it come by for lunch?
For sure, I'd love to.
There you go. All right. Lunch date with Chris. And there's another like 10 people in the team, but they're all in Europe, so they're all asleep at the moment. So it's really very much a skeleton crew at the moment, but we've got about 5 people who are coders, 6 if you include me, and a couple of artists, and then we've got like music and sound effects, that type of stuff, and some people who work on the lore. So that's kind of the team. With the Kanugi RTS, I remember like reading articles that you'd written, and it was very technology focused. I remember it was all like progressive loading, thinking about that, so the game would launch straight away even if you hadn't downloaded the assets, and you could play while it's like grabbing meshes and textures and stuff. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, it's gone so far beyond that, and I'm respectful because I don't want to steal away this time to talk about my own project, but you know, I started with this concept that I wanted it to run on the lowest end systems, you know, on web browsers all over the world, with, so to speak, and that was a long time ago, and you know, I realized, you know, I'm being a little bit ridiculous here, so I sort of eased off on that. It was also a space game. Now, space games, you know, you don't have the gravity for the projectiles, you don't have terrain, you don't have a lot of the things that really that I've come to really love about a good RTS. So I brought it back down to earth. I'm introducing the concept of a literally of a round map. It's not a sphere, because those don't necessarily haven't necessarily worked for you know, gameplay like what is it called, Planetary Annihilation. Yeah, and I get it. I get why they tried that, and I understand the value of that how that sounds cool. But I'm doing a map instead of a square map. You can have any size, any kind of map you want, but it can be square, rectangular. But it's the ideal one in the game. In the game that I'm designing is a round map, and that just made me think of. There's just some things that, I mean, I haven't seen that anywhere. Have you guys ever seen, quite literally, a round? I'm not talking about bars, circular terrain inside of a square map. I'm talking about a straight up, you can't fly outside of a circle. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't, no.
Yeah,
but,
if I could drop a screenshot,
cool.
I could show you a screenshot of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. List it in.
Oh, really?
So is the game now called Intergalactic Land Battles? Is that what it's called?
Well, that's the weird thing. I kind of pivoted. From space, but I've got a whole concept like you fight. It's okay. So it'll, you know, in the beta we'll find out if it's any fun or not. But the idea is you have a ground base, and you have a certain amount of resources. You have a planetary base, I should say, and then you build ships and you fly and you go up, and then the map just zooms out. So you're kind of still on a 2D game board, and then you go to the asteroid belt and you pull rare. So I've actually increased the economy. I know, I feel like I'm breaking the cardinal rule, like I'm violating something, right? It's like the 2 resource system of energy and something, right? Energy metal and energy mass. And then so I've got energy, I call it alloys. Alloys?
Hey.
And then I have rare, which is the notion of things that you need for specialty units, if that makes sense. I've got a 3 resource economy now, and you run out of those fairly quickly on the planet surface, kind of like Earth. We're running out of our rares a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you go to the asteroid belt, and guess what? The asteroid belt's just chock full of them. So it means the battle sort of works its way off into space. So you guys are hearing about this design before anyone. Really, I haven't talked about it with anyone. There you go.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
What's that?
You heard it here first, folks, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I guess, like, one issue that I wonder about is, like, if you make things meaningfully rare, then how do you win the game without it? Like, don't you just not win because you weren't able to get the rare stuff, or is it just not really that rare?
Well, like anything, right? You can build the low-tech stuff. That's the idea. You know, this stuff really shakes out in testing, and if it's no fun, you make more rare on the planet. If it's kind of fun to see people immediately go into a space race, because that's what it would do, and then you're like you're flying ships. So the idea is you've got an asteroid that you're mining, and you're kind of flying it back to Earth, which is ridiculous, by the way, in practical terms. But then your opponent is doing their asteroid, and then they're like, I'm going to fly over to my opponent's asteroid and start messing with their mining operations. So then it bleeds into a space combat game.
Yeah.
You know, at some level.
And
that's what
you have you have the multiple theaters of war now, right? So how does the player manage that, where there's a battle on an asteroid and on the land and on another asteroid? How do they
It's a great question. It's a great question. And if the playtesting sucks, then you just say that didn't work. See, because in my position, right, I'm experimenting with gameplay. Like I don't need to necessarily make a hit game because I've got a day job. I'm a vice president at running a team of engineers now, and I'm 60 years old in 3 weeks. So I'm getting to be an old dude. So this is kind of all just for fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think people do want to know when we're actually going to see the game. I've heard people ask about that.
I want to know when I'm going to actually see the game. Are you kidding?
Yeah, when do we get to play it? Like,
that's such a cheap line. I feel like I'm within. I feel like after 8 years or whatever it's been, I feel like I'm within 12 months.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
That'll be a good news. Al, are you in a position to get the next game kicked off with direct messages while we continue to talk?
Well, what I want to say is Kiliax has been invited up because that's the next challenger for Phony. If anyone wants to set up a lobby and get that underway, and whilst we do that, if Chris is willing to answer a couple of questions that people have put in the chat, that would be really appreciated.
Should I just go straight to the chat and answer them there?
Yeah, if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine.
How would you like me to do it?
I'll ask the questions, and then everybody gets to, because we're streaming across YouTube as well. So if I ask them, that means everybody gets to hear what you have to say. Is that okay?
Okay. Yep, sounds great.
Brilliant. The first question was, how's the pottery going?
Well, would you believe I am launching in January a site where you can order your own piece of pottery from me, and you can pick the color, and you can do all that, and I will ship it to you. This is something that people have wanted for the last, 5, 6, 7 years when I kind of started to do more of it, and I was like, oh Jesus, all right. I don't have a way of it was a mess, but with the power of AI, I've been able to accelerate the development of a website from 6 months down to 6 minutes. So I built a website. Do you want to see it? I'll show it to you sometime. You can give me feedback on it. It's kind of ridiculous. You didn't ask all this. You don't want to hear all this, but I'll tell you. I came up with a concept. Okay, I came up with the concept that if it takes me 6 months to get your bowl thrown, that you can sell your spot in line. So I sort of game designed this notion that if you get bored waiting for your bowl, you can sell it to someone with more money and you can profit from your boredom. And I'm going to see how that flies. I have very low expectations, but it just sounds like a ridiculous and fun idea. So that's pottery.
What do you sell? What pottery creations are we talking about? Are they cups or vases or what do we have?
They're for now cereal bowls, just good old fashioned cereal bowls. Yeah, a lot of people who make pottery, they make these sort of like eccentric sort of Ming vase type with flowers and things on it. It's very delicate and everything else. And you buy one and you just stick it in a corner. It's like, oh, there's my piece of pottery. But I like having a pottery that you can use every day and eat your cereal, eat your whatever you're making, your soup, your stew, and you use it every single day. So I'll tell you a story where I was on Facebook one time and I'm talking to one of my first ever sort of game designer idols. Okay, his name's Scott Adams. He developed the Adventure International games. Right, and I played these when I was like 14 years old, back in 1980. Which, for those of you at home, that's 46 years ago. And I'd get them on cassette, and I found Scott Adams on the internet, and I located him on Facebook, and I friended him on Facebook, and he was like, yeah, and he's a great guy. And so I've got Scott Adams, and I'm talking to him, and then Don Daglow, who's another great game designer, he designed Utopia for the Intellivision, and I'd given him a bowl a few years earlier, and out of the blue, he pops up on Facebook as a message, and he goes, "Hey, Chris, I just wanted to let you know that I'm using your bowl, and I love my bowl, and I use it every day." And I was like, "Holy, wait a minute." I said, like, time out, like, from the universe for a second here. I've got these two incredible idols of mine, these incredible game designers, and I've got them both on a separate chat. So I told each of them about each other, and they were like, "What?" And it was just fun. I mean, just pure fun. That 14-year-old kid inside me just couldn't believe what he was experiencing. Does that story land? I mean, because that to me, that's fun.
I want a bowl now.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
have a
You're
bowl.
selling us on the bowls.
I
Do
don't
I
know
get my
that.
own bowl?
Yeah,
Here
Chris.
you can check if you go to Chris. Okay, here's the secret. If you go to ChrisTaylorPottery.com, you can see my site that's not live yet. You can look at the prototype of the site, and you can tell me what you think. I know,
Oh, there
right?
you go. Yeah, no, it looks good. It's like
you're just there.
an easy
immediately.
feel. Yeah, I just teleport. But yeah,
How
okay.
did you do that? Wow.
Well,
Oh, now you got it on the screen.
yeah, you can
You're
post
killing
links. You can post your IDRC images as well.
Oh,
We'd be
that's
keen on
great.
seeing
That's-
that.
Okay, listen,
This
we
is
got to focus
awesome.
on your game, man.
Should we just run through the questions?
Yep,
go.
Kiliax is just getting set up with Aaron's helping him get set up, and it was Aaron who actually had the next question, and he says, "Just tell me, what is one feature you planned to add into one of your games but couldn't add because it was too ambitious?" Aaron's one of our lore lords.
Well, back in the day, this was too ambitious, but today it's not. And it's what I call sub-commanders. Because you guys all know you have commanders or armored command units. The idea was you could have a sub-commander, and you could say to the sub-commander, "I want you to control the air." Another one would control the sea, another one would control the land, another one would have a special forces group, go and take out this particular target, and give that subcommander is really not, it's more of a super generic way of saying, admirals and so forth. But it was the notion that as a player, you could kind of have the AI, work for you, and you could give it commands and just say, "Go do that, make it happen." And that would really elevate you, you see, and make you truly feel like you are powerful because you've got these things that are on your side. And maybe that's only really good for skirmish or single player, but it was a fun idea, and I still think it kind of has some potential. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. We kind of want to copy that idea, and I guess what it does is it allows you to play on bigger maps, right? If you can delegate whole parts of it, let's go back to what we were talking about with the multiple theaters of war, right? Maybe that's too hard for a player, just to focus on all different battles at the same time. But with sub commanders, all of a sudden you can just delegate, right? So you say to your army back at home, you should focus on eco growth, and then on the asteroid you say, okay, just fortify this region or whatever. Now your attention is spent on the important part, which is the enemy asteroid or whatever. So I do think that the sub commander thing is good. I expect them to play less good than a human player, but that's actually great. So wherever you focus, you're kind of crushing. But there's the bigger picture. You can still lose the game even though you won a part of the battle, right?
The idea I really like about the sub commander is that not only is it a helper, but it's a commander on the map, so that it becomes a target for the enemy players. And losing that sub commander is, actually kind of has an emotional investment, especially if that sub commander has been doing a lot for you, right? And kind of filling its place once you take it out or lose it. So that seems kind of cool too.
Yeah, and key to this design from a balance point of view is you got to build data centers, because if you don't have a big data center to drive the AI, because we all know you need a data center, right, for your AI. So you have to build a data center, and then you have to build an expensive commander, and then you've got this investment, and you have to make sure it pays off. So your opponent says, screw that, I'm going in barehanded on this. I'm going to take this player on, and it becomes one of those trade-offs, like the nuke anti-nuke escalation in TA and Subcom, and you get into this thing where now somebody takes out my data center, half my data centers, all my sub-commanders start operating at half speed because they don't have enough compute.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it gives you a target to take
That is
out.
cool.
So anyways, yeah, something to think about.
Kind of gives it a counter, right? So it's not too OP, but it also makes it more scoutable, which is something that I'm always thinking about. Is you actually want the player to be able to fly an aircraft over and say, oh shit, look, he's got 20 data centers, and then he can start preparing for it, right?
Exactly. So if you do the idea, okay, then when I steal it back,
yeah,
I don't get hate mail. Like, you stole my idea, right? So, yeah. So no, totally steal it, and steal all the ideas. Ideas are great to share. Everybody has a different implementation. You get a different sort of. It's like a signature. It's all in the. Everybody implements these things differently, and it makes it fun. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, next. Yeah.
Another thing that I remember hearing, I don't remember who said it, but on the terms of the question, what were other cool ideas that weren't able to be implemented? I remember someone brought up tidal waves were considered at one point as from nuking the oceans. Was that part of Subcom?
No, because these are even back in 2006 when we released Subcom. It was 2006. We were still nursing the CPU, like we or in the GPU. We didn't have infinite. Like, you have so much more to throw around, and arguably throw away than we had back then. And so it wasn't really. I'll be honest with you, I had a bias away from anything that was sort of felt like a disaster type thing. But you are leaning into that a lot more, and I think that's good. Maybe I would go that direction if I had the kind of CPU power. I'm doing this thing in so AI has allowed me to design the game and build the game in a browser, and then I built a Mac OS version. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can build, and then I'm like, well, then I can build shit. Then I can build a Windows version. Then I can build a dedicated Linux version. So it just kind of went nuts. And then I was like, hey, I'm on my computer, and I'm like, search my home network. And it searches it. And I go, find my Sony. It goes, I found your Sony Bravia TV. It's one of the cheap ones. It's only got 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm like, thanks for that. And I'm like, yeah. And then download all the shit and port the game so that I can have a monitor running in my bedroom that shows me the game, high-level game overview on my TV set while I'm at my desk playing the game. And I realized that multi-mon was just an underexploited tech, underexploited in every sense. And we were doing dual mon back in in 2006. We released a multi-mon solution, or a multi-mon feature. Kind of went away. I don't know how many games truly support multi-mon today. Do you guys have your ear to the ground more than I will ever have going at this point in my life? Do games support multi-mon as a rule at all?
Phony L?
I'm not sure.
Like, I'm not across. I've sort of stopped playing RTSs since I started building one, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. It just
So
takes
true.
too much
That's
time.
so true.
But Al's pretty on top of things. Al?
So Al is managing 2 chat windows and a
Alright.
multiplayer.
The question was how
contest.
many are lots of people playing? Are there lots of games with multi-monitor support in the sort of strategy game space?
No, there's not. And this was such a groundbreaking feature when Supreme Commander came out. I think Subcom was always ahead of its time. and it's very, very rare that you see that now, because I think it was very groundbreaking then. I don't think people have maybe simplified the genre. They've gone much more simple rather than expanding the complexity.
Yeah, that's my take as well. As most of the RTSs are simpler, not more complicated. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's people still want it. Like I get lots of comments like once a week, someone asking for multi-monitor support. So I think it's good to have. I used to use it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did many people use multi-monitor, Chris, in the subcom early days?
Well, we didn't have the telemetry that we have now in web. Like if somebody launches something on a website, right, you can take all that data and crunch it. You know what everybody's using, the features they're using, and everything else. There's a ton of that in enterprise cloud, like in all these big web things. But back then, we had no idea what our customers were doing. We had zero idea.
You were pre-Steam, right? So it was all like CDs or DVDs.
Were we? Yeah, was that pre-Steam? I mean, it might have been right around the Steam, when Steam was still picking up steam, so to speak. Did I ever tell you the story where Gabe walked me back to his office? We were down in Kirkland for lunch. Did I ever tell you the lunch Gabe story?
I don't think so, no.
And I think we were eating at George's. It was called George's, little cafe restaurant. It was Greek of all things, called George's. And Gabe was there, and he'd finished lunch, and he said, "Come with me back to the office. I want to show you something." So I was like, "Okay, well, Gabe's cool." Gabe then wasn't the Gabe now, right?
We're talking about Gabe Newell, the creator of Steam and Valve, right?
Yeah, the founder of Valve. And we went back to his office, and he sat me down in front of a computer, and he said, "I want to show you something." And I go, "What is it?" And he started up Half-Life, and he said, "Okay, Half-Life is not installed on this computer. This computer has no game on it. We're going to hit this button, and it's going to download just the first level, the Black Mesa part." If you guys are Half-Life players, or if you ever played Half-Life, the opening scene is this like trolley car, this sort of like ride you take down into the research laboratory. And and I was kind of like, okay. And he goes, "Okay, now when you're playing this level, the next level is loading, and the next level is loading." And that was Steam. That was how Steam worked. And I saw it for the first time as a prototype before it was released to the world. And
yeah,
I thought,
that's cool.
Novel.
Does Steam actually do that now?
It's very unique.
Progressive loading and stuff?
No, because what happened was, I can fill you guys in if you're interested. What happened was the internet connections got faster and faster and faster. And back then, the development cost of taking a game, breaking it down into levels, figuring out how all the assets were going to work, became so prohibitive and so expensive. It was like, just eat it and download the whole damn thing. And that's where you are. That's where we are today.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I
got a lot of those kinds of stories. If you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe.
Like to subscribe and a heart.
Get his pot.
Yeah.
Get his pottery.
Get my pots. What's the other one they're doing now? There's a new one. What is it? You ask for there's another button you hit now on some sites, like a
share.
Like, I'm excited. It's like a celebrate or whatever. Give me a big Yahoo. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in a mood tonight.
All right.
There's a question then. If you're in a mood.
Next question. Let's do it.
Marzon or Markson. I'm not sure how you would, however you would pronounce that one. What's the thought process that went into Cybran tanks, especially the absurdity of the Scathis mobile artillery?
Oh, the absurdity. Well, have you ever heard of being bored of the status quo? That is the driver of a lot of the designs that I did. But there were so many damn units. After a while, you were just shitting them out because you're like, I gotta get on with it. And I'm sorry, practical reality time, right? Like, you're going to hold up production if you don't do all that. So you got to crack this stuff out. But one of the ones that I had the most, I laughed the hardest when I came up with the name. There was a lot of them, by the way. I'm going to pick one to share with you. Pivoting this exact question onto something that I can tell you, is it was an experimental unit, and it was called the Weeduboth. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Not
No.
me.
Yeah, I haven't.
Nobody? And it was like you said it like Weeduboth, like it was some alien ship, but the word was we do both. And it was because it had two distinct functional capabilities to it. And I thought I was sitting there at like 3 a.m. at my office. It was the only time I could design because I had no interruptions. So I just worked from like midnight till 3 a.m. on this stuff, and I'd get in my BMW and I'd rip home in the middle of the night doing like 140 miles an hour down country roads because there was no soul on the road. By the way, don't do that. That's a dumb thing to do.
It's at home.
Note to self: don't do 140. Those late night sessions, you get a little goofy, and it's kind of fun and weird and painful all at the same time. And I did a lot of that. I did a lot of my best game design. I designed most of SoupCom. I woke up at 6 a.m. I would get up at 6 a.m. and I'd work till noon. The original SoupCom design, I wrote from 6 to 12 on Saturday, woke up the next day at 6 a.m., wrote design from 6 a.m. to 12, and that was the foundation of the SoupCom design document.
Yeah, I've heard that before. And how then it changed a lot after that, and it went through lots of iterations, I imagine. You didn't just like get it all right in one go.
Yeah, I didn't have strategic zoom in those 2 sessions. I was at the office and I was playing around with something like an art program or doing something, and I couldn't believe when I was trying to zoom in to the screen, like to zoom into a part of a piece of artwork or whatever. It's like I had to I zoomed in and I zoomed to the center, and then I had to scroll the screen over to where I wanted to be, and then I'd zoom in and I have to scroll the screen. I was like, literally like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? Right?
Yeah, you can't even see anything.
You know, it was so useless. And then I went and I went, oh my God. And I found every program that I could find that did that. And I think one game might have done it. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been Railroad Tycoon, or it might have been I really can't remember. It was 20. Is that 20? That's 20 years ago. And it seems like longer. And I was like, okay, strategic zoom, done deal. And that was it. I was like, I can't believe that I never thought of this sooner.
Yeah, no. Well, I guess once you started getting the really bigger maps, then you needed it, right? Before that, it wasn't like just a mini map was okay. But once you get a giant map, it's not good enough anymore. The other thing that I think that you guys did masterfully is the strategic icons are just so good, because when we put in our strategic icons, we try and do our own take on things, right? We don't want to just be like heavily inspired by Forged Alliance on every single thing. But it's unavoidably amazing the way that you guys did it, because any solution we came up with was just sort of big and chunky. These are like quite small but clear. And you guys used the NATO military symbols for it, was it?
Yeah, we were influenced heavily. I think that you could say that, and the guys on the team. I mean, listen, throughout this whole, let's just pause and say the team. The brilliant people on the team, the artists, the designers, the engineers. Frankly, even THQ, the publisher, great folks. And everybody works so hard on all the different parts of the game. I mean, it takes a village. It takes a really large village, as it turns out. And they all contributed amazing work. And I'm the lucky guy who got to go out there and talk about it. I'm the guy who gets to sit on calls like this and talk about it and tell the stories. But every one of those people made such great contributions, and frankly, should be, talking about their stuff too. Because everyone has a story to tell about the journey they were on over those 4 years. But I want to tell you a fun. Go ahead.
Sorry, just quickly. I remember when we first started doing interviews, I was trying to pitch to you like making a new RTS game, and I was saying, and that's because we can use Unity and the internet's changed and all this sort of stuff. Now you don't need like a really great team anymore, and you just laughed at me. You just said, right, like I was an idiot, and I've subsequently joined your opinion. You do need a great team, and you need people who just get shit done, right? And do they do it in 50 iterations or in 3 iterations, that type of thing. So
yeah, it's subject matter expertise and focus, right? They focus. Even a tree, you look at these trees. You don't want to make these trees just whatever trees. You want them to be great trees, even though they're just going to catch fire or get stomped on or just be walked right past. They have to be great trees. But I want to tell you this story because it's one of my favorite stories about SUBCOM. So
Right.
I came up with this name, Supreme Commander, because when I was touring around Europe for Total Annihilation, I read all these plaques and things about the Allied forces and all the rest of this, and it said, Eisenhower, the Allied Supreme Commander, and it was rattling around in my head. So for SUBCOM, I was like, told the whole team, guys, I got a name. It's Supreme Commander. And I think I told it over lunch at this local restaurant. The whole team is at the table, and I tell the team. And we got back to the office. Have I told you the story, Mike? Is this a
I've
redo?
heard. Well, I've
You've
heard
heard the
but
story?
you keep going. I'm sure lots of
Keep
people
going,
have heard it.
keep going.
No.
Well, I'll tell it some other time. No, I'm kidding. So I get back to the office and I sit at my desk. I'm ready to get back to work. And one person, I will never say their name, kind of hangs on the door frame and leans in and says to me, he goes, by the way, Supreme Commander, that's the worst name I've ever heard for a game.
Great.
And I turned to them and I said, no, that's the best name for an RTS game ever. And he sort of stormed off. he quit not too long after, like maybe 6
Oh,
months.
really? Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, right? I didn't care. He wasn't making a difference one way or the other, but sure, he was a perfectly fine engineer. And I'll never forget that story. And it shows you that whenever you're making art, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to believe in your art, and you call your art whatever the hell you want. And if you want to call it Supreme Commander, you call it Supreme Commander. You want to call it, late for dinner. I don't care. It's your game. It's your name, and that really felt like a moment for me. It was interesting. It was fun.
Awesome. Where's this next game, Al? We're meant to be playing. We're just
I
watching
didn't want to
videos.
interrupt.
Yeah, I
think
know, it was
Phony
like-
and Kiliax are ready. You're ready now, aren't you? You're in the lobby. You're all set.
There we go.
I am here.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can get it going,
Who's
I guess.
Does-
Crimson?
Crimson, do you mind bouncing up, please? This is meant to be a tournament-style 1v1 with
You
Kiliax
understand.
and Frankie.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh my
Okay,
god.
Kiliax,
you
you
can
gotta-
kick people?
You
I didn't know we
can.
could kick people. Oh dear. Alright,
Ready, people?
Kiliax is ready.
He has to go to Team 2.
He's on team 2, you mean
Or
slot 2.
Slot 2.
Kiliax, slot 2, please. With our lobby system's still a bit clunky, so a lot of it's resolved by talking, which is not the situation you want to be. But to be honest, all of our focus has just been on like networking code and all that sort of stuff. So everything else is just like pretty rough. Did you have another question then, Al?
Yes. And I'm sorry if these are out of order. I'm doing the best I can. Cage would like to know, did you ever think of a 5th faction after the Seraphim?
No.
Okay.
Would that be a good idea to add a 5th faction?
Well, this whole faction thing, right? Like, we were always trying to avoid the enormous amount of work of another faction, and it just follows you. It just tracks you down. But it's a shit ton of work. And we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, I guess that's a theme, right, in game
Yeah.
development. And,
Yeah.
And so, you don't invent ways to spend money, but you need a publisher to fund it. And in that case, back then it was THQ, and they would have to have funded it. And I think they were done for the time being. And then we went straight in. If you guys remember, 2006, around like was within a couple of years the recession they call it the Great Recession hit, and it wasn't about making more of anything. It was about how can you make something with little, just a little, and that's where a lot of things were born. Like the Kickstarters, whether it was Wildman or it was I was trying to do the Kings and Castles thing. That Kings and Castles was supposed to be simple, but it turned out that it would still be $5-6 million to make it.
Right.
All that artwork, all the things, the big elephants that knock the walls down and all the rest of it. So just, guys, I was kind of at a point emerging from that where I was exhausted from always chasing money.
Yeah.
Always
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make payroll. If somebody says make payroll, I feel like I hear the machine gun fire in the helicopters. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I curl up into a ball. Make payroll.
Yeah, because you weren't just designing a game. You were you're a business owner and operator, and you were dealing with all the day-to-day, accounting, HR, legal, like all that stuff too, was it?
Oh yeah. If you walked into my office, you would see spreadsheets. I would be I'd be out there selling, publishers, shaking hands and kissing babies, laughing at jokes that weren't funny. Any way to get a check written on it with your name.
Yeah, because people see it as like really glamorous to run like a game studio, but it's it's a lot of work, man, and it's you do all the bits that aren't fun, right? I'd rather like make the art or write the code or whatever.
This is Mike feeling your pain, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, feel my pain, Mike.
I feel it every day, man. Like I'm living the dream. Don't you worry. Yeah, and it's interesting. Like the other thing that's interesting now, because I think like the internet wasn't like, and multiplayer wasn't as big of a thing, but there's like this backlash like often and frequently and everywhere, like. And you get contradictory backlash. Like some people, like with Sanctuary, they're like, "Oh, the colors are shit. It should be like way more colorful. You guys are like dicks." And then the very next comment is like, "It's got too much color. I don't like it." And it's just it's non-stop kind of. Phony's pushing in quite far. Interesting. Oh, I see what Phony's up to. Notice how many units he has, which is pretty funny. But I don't want to spoil the game for Kiliak.
Oh, are you in God mode?
No, they're having a 1v1 at the moment. So.
Oh, okay, so just checking to make sure that you see what I see. You don't have a mode, like an observer mode, that you can see stuff.
We're not using that at the moment. We're just watching it from Phony's point of view. And an interesting thing about Sanctuary right now, actually, is there's a bug where you can see the strategic icon shapes. You can't see the foreground symbol, but you can see the background symbol. So you can actually... That's like not meant to be there. We're meant to fix that, but it's an interesting change actually. So we're talking about making like a super radar or something, where it with a lower intel radius that can actually give you more strategic icon info on the blips.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh man. Well, hey, if you guys are paying attention to what's going on in the world today, I watch an enormous amount of this stuff, so I know what's going on with, drone warfare in its 50 to 100 different form factors, whether it's small or medium or large or boats or what have you. And the jamming, the counter measures they're using, the cost-benefit ratio, like, if you can blow up a $6 million T90, Russian T90 with, say, 6 or 7 $2,500 POV drones that are flown in, whether fiber or radio, And, you know, you can't help but ask, how can we bake some of that into modern day RTS design?
Yeah, we have that scheduled in on our unit schedule that there'll be all these drone carriers and stuff, and they'll deploy the drones, which do cool drone stuff. And I'm like, I actually don't have a good idea to make that awesome. It's like, how would it behave differently? Because a drone is essentially just like a missile. Maybe it flies around a little bit more or tracks or something, but how is it different from like a... Give me your ideas, Chris, because I need help.
You know
Make
what?
it cool.
I'm going to have to go design that, and then you can rip me off. Okay, how's that sound? Is that a deal?
Yeah, it sounds interesting. So you're back in the game. So we're competitors now. That's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be on the same team.
If I do a Kickstarter, are you going to come and talk on my Kickstarter video?
Yeah, I guess I could help you out. Sure. Of course.
It'll be the tables will be turned right around. It'll be famous developer, and there's just and people are like, who's this crusty old man who's like 90 trying to promote his game?
No, I think every year there's another generation of people start playing Subcom. You know, I don't know what age it is, but like 14 or something, people start getting into it, and you know, the player base increases. With the multiple factions thing, you were saying it was like mainly a cost decision not to have a 5th faction, but I'm not sure having 5 factions makes it a better game. I think it actually probably makes it a worse game, because as a player, right, I'm limited by the limitation is me, right? Understanding what the hell's going on. If you like, I know FAF pretty well. I know Forged Alliance quite well. I know how many of one unit it takes to kill another unit, right? And because of that, I have meaningful strategic games. And like, I lose them all the time, right? It's not like I'm crushing it. I'm not. I lose all the time, but I'm making informed choices, and it's not like just some random shits going on where some tanks hit some other tanks. My point is if you had 5 factions, I think you would lose that. I just wouldn't know all that stuff, and I think that just makes it less strategic. So, I think having 3 factions is a good number, and it's not about money, it's just about making the best game.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I don't think I would debate you, because I think you'd win. And, you know, if you really want to make more factions, it's kind of a little bit like you're caving to requests from people who want more content, and when you run out of ways to widen the existing factions, the cheapest, not financially cheapest, but the cheapest from a design and intellectual perspective, is to make another faction that does mostly all the same things with a different skin, basically.
Yeah.
Try to avoid the skin phenomenon, or skin syndrome, where it's just the same unit with a different look. But yeah, I mean, if you have a game like World of Tanks, for example, you know, you realize, right, like, you can keep adding and adding and adding, but then as soon as you've got so many things in the game, people don't know what the thing is that they're encountering today, right? They don't know what they're shooting at. They don't know what its capabilities are. So you really have to learn every single faction that you might run into. And that's the point you're making, I think. And it's a damn good one. It's a damn good one.
It's kind of the same point as before with those sub-commanders, right? Is the limitation is actually the player. It's not like the engine. You know, people keep saying, "Oh, let's make ridiculously big maps," and I'm like, that's not fun. It's not fun. Like, you know, having 160-kilometer wide maps. That's not fun at all, because as a player, you can't deal with that. But sub-commanders help you. So this is something that I run into over and over with the game design, is we just are always optimizing for the player's attention span. And that seems to be like one of the core goals of like the design.
The exception to the rule for big maps, in my opinion, is the single player. If you're playing it all by yourself and you don't have any friends to play with, and you're not gonna, then playing on a giant map is really kind of like you roll up your sleeves and say, I'm gonna play this thing for 8 hours, 9 hours, and I'm gonna have this big experience. That kind of works for me. I like big as a like for Intergalactic Space Empire, the idea that you could go from one system to the other, I mean, star system, and you could conquer a star system and go to another and go to another and kind of work your way across the galaxy, encountering progressively more sophisticated or just stronger enemies with more fortifications. Like that seems really fun. These are cool graphics, man, that I'm watching. But that's a single player game, right? Because you can't start a game where you're on separate sides of the galaxy or the universe and you're going to play for 3 years before you encounter one another. Like it doesn't, that's not fun at all. And that just continues to scale up or scale down depending on the size of the map. So if it's a double the size of, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, in multiplayer it's a bit tricky. Like in the larger map sizes, you might like play for 30 minutes without encountering anyone, or you had some tiny battle but you just felt you lost it already, right? But it just takes like 40 minutes to actually happen. It's not like the game's not balanced around that, so it's not really a particularly enjoyable experience, I don't think. But like you say, with single player, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is IGSC single player or multi?
Is what's that?
Is IGSC single player or multiplayer?
Oh, it's multiplayer, and it's multiplayer. It's sort of authoritative in the cloud, and it where you can have AI players and they'll play in the cloud. So the idea is you can't hack it as easily. I mean, you can always hack games, but I actually wrote code so that you do not know the positions of the enemy units until you've seen them legit. So everything's running. The sim is all running in the cloud. Because I kind of learned that when I worked at Wargaming for 3.5 years. When I sold Gaspard games to Wargaming, I kind of I learned all the ways, not all of them. I'm certainly not an expert, but I learned quite a number of the ways that people hack multiplayer games to cheat. Because they would cheat the hell out of World of Tanks, and so that's one of the things that I like to solve for. But even if you're playing single player, you play it in the cloud, and you can't even cheat against an AI, which I think is kind of funny when you think about it. But you get things like if you crash, you never lose anything. The server just spools right back up, and you continue playing. So it's really, really robust.
Right, because the work you do now is like cloud engineering, right? So you're really on top of just redundancy and how to do that.
Yeah, I've been in this cloud thing now for 6.5 years professionally, and I was doing it for 3 years on my own before that. So I guess I'm coming up on 10 years, and you learn a thing or two, and you realize all the power in it. But like for example, having that Sony 50, 60-inch TV, and you want to throw up a replay of a game on your TV and stream it down from the cloud, and so you're cruising around the house or whatever doing your thing, and there's this cool game running, and it could be you could say, oh, it's a YouTube, except that now you can go and grab your phone out of your pocket and you can start controlling it and then say, pause, I'm going to start playing the game from this point. I'm going to take over the game. I'm going to try different things on the game, like choose your own adventure from halfway into a multiplayer game, which you can do too, right?
Yeah, right. Hey, I had an interesting conversation the other day with Brad Wardell, or Wardle, I don't know really how to say his last name, from Stardock, and he was saying that he still has a copy of the Subcom 1 source code because they used it for Demigod.
Oh, interesting.
I think a lot of people would be interested to know that.
We did Demigod. Stardock didn't develop Demigod. You know that, or did you not know that? This is pretty cool. What I'm watching.
I don't know that. No.
Ah, yeah, that was designed by Gaspard Games, and that was funded largely by me out of our bank account, and then Brad came in at the end and he provided the funding to complete it and won the publishing got the publishing rights from funding the completion of it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Those are the good old days when money was very scarce.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think money's scarce for RTS games at the moment. Like, there's, when I go to conventions trying to rustle up money from investors, there's all these people with all these like big dreams of making some crypto game or something like that, and that's what we're up against when we pitch to people. And their dreams are crazy, where they're making their own cryptocurrency and it runs on this game and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just sort of rolling my eyes at that type of stuff. I don't get that stuff, man. I'm an old man.
Well,
Crypto's
I don't
not for
either.
me.
If it makes you feel any better, I never did understand all the what's it called?
Hype?
It was the yeah, the hype. No, what was this stuff? What was it called? It wasn't all the Bitcoin. It was the other thing. It was like you could have
Blockchain.
blockchain. Frickin' blockchain. Thank God AI came along to erase blockchain from everybody's head.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he said.
They stopped talking about fucking blockchain, okay, when AI came on the scene. That was pretty funny. Yeah, anyway. I feel like I've said too much. I've talked too much. I've given away all my design. I've given you my bank account number and my social security. So at this point I don't have anything left.
Well, we do like you joining us and appreciate the time. Should we race through the 10 questions and give like single sentence answers, or
We have some more questions?
No.
Loads of questions, but are you going to just to before I do these? Kiliak's well played. Phony just dominated you, and we have.
Sorry.
That it was brutal to watch, but nice try. Put your name in the thread in the 1v1 channel if you want to challenge Phony. There's somebody else who's lined up. I'm just waiting for him to get back in touch. So put your requests in there. Chris, a couple of quick fire questions for you. Lieutenant Colonel Benji would like to know if you would take a cameo voice acting role for something in Sanctuary.
Yeah, sure. Love to. I'm getting old now, as you guys know, so I can start doing the older voice, I can get down a little deeper.
Luke Skywalker.
Yes, I can be Skywalker. I did the voice for Gom in Dungeon Siege, and I was doing voice work for games all the way back in Canada when we were working on a D&D. We were working with Dave Arneson on a thing called Dangerous Journeys back in the early 90s, and I did some voice work, and I still remember the lines. So
The core memory.
okay, so here's the opening line. From the foundation of the world, I am Osiris, Lord of light and life. You believe I've remembered that for 35
Very
years?
good.
Can't hear me.
You
Clap.
get a round of applause from here. I'll quick fire these if that's all right.
Yep.
Crimson Knight asks, was the strategic launch detected and the commander under attack lines synthesized or just heavily filtered?
That would have been done by the sound engineers on Soupcom, and I bet you they took a voice. If I were to guess, I can find out. But they took a voice and just modified it, just altered it. Sure, that's my guess. I would say I'm 99% sure about that.
Okay, I'm not sure if there's a quick answer for this one. I can't even say the name, but Robot Bandwagon says he'd like to hear a retrospective on why Supreme Commander 2 was so different from Forged Alliance, but I imagine that's probably quite a long answer.
It's easy. It's actually easy. I think as time goes on, I can loosen my sort of the what is it, the secret files on that a little bit more, and that is we had a pretty tight budget from a great publisher, Square Enix, and they wanted us to develop it on they're kind of a console publisher in a lot of ways, and we had to develop it for both the PC and for Xbox, and we had to make a lot of brutally hard design decisions in order to get it to fit. And we knew that the theory, we didn't know, was that the console players really didn't want that sort of gritty, large scale RTS game. They wanted more of a living room experience. And unfortunately, that led, because we had only so much memory, and so it was, and we made hard decisions. And I think in the end, we realized we made a lot of bad decisions, but we made a bunch of good decisions, and it kind of landed in the middle. Didn't make any. Though there are people, though, to this day who say that they like it best. So explain that to me. Can't explain this.
They do, but if you look at how many people are playing Subcom 1 and Subcom 2, and it's like, massive, massive difference there. I think, though, you told me that Subcom 2 was a big financial success.
Well, it was a financial success because of reasons I can't necessarily go into details on. Maybe we need to wait another 10 years for that. But we had, like I said, we had a great partner. They treated us really good, and it allowed us to, frankly, pay off a lot of Demigod, which is just crazy. In fact, I still get a little bit of PTSD from that time when I felt like I was just moving money around to try to, the bed sheet from one side of the mattress to the other. And I was really transparent with them, and I said, listen, I'm up to my ears in debt. I owed $4.3 million to Pacific Continental Bank, and it was personally guaranteed by me and only me, and a lien on my house.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember driving home going, I have no money for payroll on Friday.
Wow.
What am I going
That's
to
rough.
do?
I don't know.
Payroll's like
Yeah.
$150,000.
Yeah, right. So you were really like putting your own personal existence on the line for the game.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Sold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah.
You're driving in your driveway, and you're like, this could all just go to the bank if I don't figure shit out.
Oh, the stress. That must have been absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah, it was. In fact, it's kind of weird talking to you, and God knows who else is listening in on this, is kind of taking me back to those days that I've really buried. I buried it I don't think about it anymore. And that's pretty cool. I'm watching the screen here. That looks great.
That's T5. Yeah,
And
there's some bug going on in that explosion, so it's a bit weird. But that's our T5, Chris. So on top, after the experimentals, you can build these. And your command is actually inside that thing. So if it dies, you die. It's like an all or nothing game ender. And so you can only build one as well. And they're absolutely epic. So this thing's sort of like got this laser wall shooting down. And you can buy a statue of this, by the way. In fact, you did buy a statue of this because of you backed our Kickstarter and you got that the game consultant tier. So as part of that, you get your very own little nightlight that looks just like this.
Thank God. Thank God I got the. I was thinking, okay, so just pause for a second. Imagine how I went cheap on the Kickstarter and I wasn't getting that. I'd feel like a total schmuck right now.
You're upselling to the audience. So, but with Subcom 2, I don't think it was a bad game. I just don't feel like it was a great Supreme Commander game. Subcom had all this nuance and detail, and it was complicated, right? And, you had to get into it to play. It had a learning curve, but with that came, the reward of mastery, right? And Subcom 2 had much less of a learning curve, and for players like me, it was just less interesting. But, it was pretty. It was sure pretty. And I guess that's just there's different audiences for different things, right? Some people want the geekiest game and other people just absolutely don't. But I think because you were putting it on console, that was obvious. It couldn't be that really nerdy experience, which is why Sanctuary isn't going on a console. That's our solution to that problem.
Yeah. 100%.
But we don't have
Hey,
anyone telling us what to do.
Did you not like the Cybranosaurus?
Well, that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do actually
Come on.
like a lot of the units. They're very cool.
That was probably my biggest memory of Subcom 2.
We laughed our asses off at the Cybranosaurus. Like, we just, at that point, we jumped the shark. You know what I mean? We'd gone off the deep end, which, you know, life is no fun unless you can look back on memories like that. You can't always paint within the lines, you know, of the unspoken rules. You've got to just go outside of them. So, yeah, okay. We're not doing very well at whipping through these questions, are we?
No. But that's okay. Phony, I've invited Remnant Belt up. He's your next challenger.
Hello.
Or your next victim, if you want to look at it that way.
Okay.
Evercron would like to ask Chris, do you have any thoughts on Chris Hayes' comments about Xbox not understanding games development and artists?
Oh, is this a recent comment that he made after the layoffs?
I don't know.
Chris Hayes. No, which Chris was this again?
Let me see if he's.
There's a Chris Hayes on CNN. This is a...
He's at ID.
Did you say Chris Hayes? Am I hearing this? I'm getting old and weird over here.
He says he's at ID Software.
ID software, like id Software. What was his? So he made a comment, and you want to know if I agree with it. What was the comment again?
Evercron, are you in this audience still?
Wasn't it just the comment? The theory is that Xbox doesn't understand developers and the game design process. Is that right, Al?
Yeah.
Well,
Xbox not understanding games development and artists.
I believe Xbox got a new CEO, or maybe it was Sony. And this is pretty recent, within the past couple months.
Yeah, Asha, I think her name is.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Phil Spencer took it over from Don Matrick. You guys remember that after the Xbox launched? What generation was it? The Xbox, like after 360, maybe it was the next one. I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Xbox One.
Yeah.
Xbox One. TV. Remember that roll up they did? TV. And if that makes no sense to you, that's fine. But Phil took it over, and Phil is a gamer, and Phil understands games, and I think he did a good job for a long time. And then they kind of ran the car down the track, and they ran into a tough economy, and they ran into RAM memory because AI is sucking all the RAM chips out of the world, and they decided, well, they need to do something to tell the shareholders and the board that they're going to change something. And I think at that point, Phil had been there 30 years, which is just insane, and a great run. And he totally understood games, and he gave these studios all kinds of creative freedom. In fact, one could make an argument that they had too much freedom, okay? Like, at some point, you can have too much freedom. But if you're going to go one way or the other and have too little or too much, I'd rather have Phil in my corner, right? And so understanding games, like Xbox understands games, the fact is that they hired all these celebrated game designers. Brian Fargo of In Exile owned they bought In Exile, I believe, and he founded Interplay. If you guys are familiar with Interplay, this is one of the classic gaming studios of all time. And Fergus Urquhart of Obsidian, also ex Interplay. They did Dungeon Siege 3. Talk about that another time. Or maybe never. And so it goes. Phil went out there and he brought in all this expertise, and these experts are the ones who are supposed to know games. Frankly, Microsoft's just writing the checks, right? So if you think about it, really, Microsoft wasn't doing anything one way or the other. They were just providing funding and the money, and then the games were going out on their what do you call it? Their Games Pass, and one could argue, from my limited perspective of the whole thing financially, that maybe the Game Pass thing was a good idea for a while, and then it lost its way because folks didn't have to pay full price for games anymore, and then frankly Microsoft was giving away too much for the money. One could argue that. So that's a completely subjective point. So did that answer, whoever asked that, did that answer your question? Because that was a deep dive on the economics of a multi-trillion dollar company and how they handle creative. Silence.
So I think we can just keep going now. Next question.
Yep. Okay, Volume would like to know, when designing an RTS today, such as Sanctuary, what performance bottlenecks should be prioritized? And what is the single most expensive feature in a large-scale RTS? Is it pathfinding, projectile physics?
Well, that's a great question for Mike and his team. And I'm sorry if you guys are on this call and I don't know all of you very well, so I can't pick off the person who's responsible. But you've nailed whoever asked that question is an expert, right? Because pathfinding, right, big one. The rendering engine itself, but you see, you can scale back the rendering engine. You can drop particle effects, you can drop explosions, you can do a lot of, and you don't degrade the physical simulation. You see, so the physical simulation has to take. It's like the brain and the body, right? You want all the blood to go to the brain first, get it the most oxygen, make sure the sim's good. Then you want to make sure that the pathfinding as part of that sim is getting what it needs, so units move properly. And you're going to burn every last cycle of the GPU and the CPU, frankly, on everything else. But you can always throttle it. You can always throttle those. Those are sort of the eye candy part of it back. So, and then the worst case scenario, you scale the sim, you slow the sim, and that's what we did. We slowed the sim when we couldn't, because we'd rather have sim integrity than try to keep the clock, the real-time clock going, and human time or whatever, regular time, at the expense of sim quality, which is never an option. And frankly, it doesn't even really work. You know what I mean? You can't really cheat that. So what is the most important thing? It's the sim. It's my opinion. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, all that sounds good. I think the hardest part for us is probably just the fact that it's moddable. If it wasn't moddable, then we could, have performance out of the wazoo, because we could just, run things on different threads. We can do all sorts of tricks to just get the performance high. But because it is moddable, it all has to be in Lua, and that becomes the bottleneck. And you can only optimize so far. So, if you look at our physics engine or our pathfinding or any of our expensive systems, they're all distributing across different cores and all that. But the moddable bit, the Lua, that's still just running just in one process.
Mike, with AI now, you can take all that Lua and just crunch it into a compiled language now.
Right. But it needs to run on the client because it needs to calculate multiple overlapping mods, right?
Well, that's
I don't know what mods are running.
I think there's some things you can do there, Maybe that's a conversation offline to talk about how you can optimize your Lua. Lua is, I think Lua's seen better days. Let me put it that way. Being nice.
I guess you're using JavaScript now, is it?
Yeah, but I do all my sim in compiled C on the cloud. All I do is render on the client. Then we have a Mac client that I run.
I love how your voice changes once you start talking about technology. The passion it is so clear from all the conversations that we've had. You're just into it, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I okay. You guys are very kind, because I'm going to just abuse the situation and tell you a story. So when I was 15, I designed this game called Zone 256, and I was working on it on my TRS-80 in 82, 81, 82. And I had school, and I was getting my learner's license, and my TRS-80 had like 48K RAM, and I had floppy. I don't know if I had the floppy drives yet, or I was doing it all on cassette, but I designed this game, and I was all excited about my game, 256, Zone 256, right? So anyway, so the other night, I sat down and I had a 2.5-hour conversation with the AI. I said, listen, let's design the game that I started 45 years ago. And 2.5 hours later, it said, okay, I got it. 15 minutes later, I was playing. And I couldn't
Very
believe it.
cool. Yeah. And how was it?
It was pretty good. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I was I was thrilled because it was the game that I had in my head. I remembered everything that I wanted to do. And you know what's crazy is you guys can play it if you want. Just send me an email and I'll invite you to the retro arcade that I built. I got 180 emulators running on Kanugi, and I can give you access and you can play it.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. Yeah.
But when the work is done and this game ships.
But it's a golden age with the AI, right? If anyone wants to be a game developer right now, the AI helps you turn your ideas into good ideas. It helps you build the damn thing. It helps you do the art. It really is amazing. Just for fun, sometimes on a weekend, I'll just try and spin up a new game using AI. I don't look at the code at all, right? All I'm doing is writing functional requirements, and I just, give it new things to do, and it just does it. And I don't know how it works. And I do it all in HTML and JavaScript because I don't have to muck about with compile times or anything like that.
Well, what a perfect application, because document writing and doing analysis on code bases, building out flowchart diagrams, building documentation, building a development journal. The list goes on and on and on. Building your own pottery site where you can sell your place online. Build an old retro game. And by the way, it wrote it in Z80 and it runs on an emulator. Crazy. It's absolutely insane. Bonkers.
The thing that I found, though, with my AI, experiments is it was absolutely exhausting. So normally, you're coming up with some ideas. And while you're building them, there's this downtime, right, where you're just sort of chilling. But because of AI, all the chill time was gone. It was like 100% just game design non-stop. And I think after 5 hours, I just had to stop. I was exhausted, and that never happens to me. That just never happens.
Well, so I've been building up my brain muscle so that I can run Gemini, ChatGPT's code, and Anthropic Claude in favorites or Opus 5 and Ultra Code, and I go back and forth between all of them, and I keep all the plates spinning all day long. And I was exhausted after the first month of doing it. I kind of hit that and then.
Talk about multitasking, and you run into the limit of you once again, right? Because the tech can handle 100 conversations, but you can't.
Well, it was interesting too because I was starting to see myself sort of get weak mentally, and then I woke up the next morning and it'd be 7 a.m. and I'd be like, I'm doing this again, and I'd spin them all up again, and I'd go all day long, and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, this is getting easier. And I'm having as much fun today as I had when I started going completely apeshit with it. And I'm building just tonight, sitting at my desk, I'm sitting at Como News building in Seattle, at my office, because I didn't want to drive home because I would lose seeing you guys. And I wrote a thing for my site where you can create a character with a random character generator, and it's like your little mascot. And then when you go to Kanugi, he crawls around on the screen. Okay, it hangs off the top of the screen, walks up the sides, does all this shit. And I'll tell you what, I did that while I was just doing other email.
I do wonder though. Saying it's the golden age, but is it also the death of being an indie game developer because the competition is just going to be so high, right? We used to have all of these like super talented indie people, you know, going above and beyond just shipping a game by themselves. But now, because that's in the reach of people who are like non-technical as well, you could just have like, you know, 50,000 of them, and then, you know, what chances does your game realistically have anymore?
Okay, since we're doing this, the fact is, have you gone to Steam lately? Have you seen how many games are on Steam?
Yeah.
We didn't even need AI for 50,000 people.
That's true.
It's gonna get worse though. Like, I mean, that number's gonna multiply by 10 pretty soon.
So let's say it does. Let's say it multiplies by 100. What if you gave every single person in the world a Panavision Panaflex camera and a movie crew, and you said, look, now you've got everything you need to go make your movie. Are they going to generate a really compelling script? Are they going to find great actors? Are they going to find the right locations? Like, it all, the problem set moves directly to the creative. The creative is the next spot. It just eliminates the arduous technology. It doesn't eliminate the creative process. So you're going to see 50,000 shitty games. That's it. And you're going to still see the great games shine above them with the people who have creative inspiration and who are passionate and have all those other qualities. All you've eliminated from everybody. You've factored out code, and that's all. So creativity is
yeah, but there were the polar opposites, but in between there's a bunch of good games, and now we're going to have 50,000 instead of 5,000 of them. You know, like Sanctuary is a good game. It's not like a Civilization 1 or something reinventing, revolutionizing, carving out its own genre. That's not happening. And the competition's going to be stiff, right?
You know the thing that separates the groups is it's staying power. Mike, you have staying power, and your team and your group has staying power. You guys have been working on this for how long? Has it been 4 or 5?
It's been 6 years. We started in COVID. 6
years. Do you know how many people can focus on anything for 6 years? The air gets really thin. You're in good. You're good. If you can keep on the mission, man, then you are in a very rare group. So that's my.
We're doing it. Yeah, it took us 6 years to get to Kickstarter. Initially, when we announced it, it was going to be 6 months. So, pretty funny. But we're here. We got a demo. You can play it if you want, and we'll just watch vids about it. But you know, we're here. We finally did it. Do we have another question now?
Yes. Just did you watch the match there? Phony is currently just
undefeated.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to challenge Phony, get your request in, and we'll set up the game. Next question. Duskfall would like to know: was the Salem a result of being bored of the status quo?
Sorry, 1 second. I have someone asked me a question in my office. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Chris doesn't have staying power.
Not 6 years worth.
Answering questions in real life. Come on, man.
Thank you.
These have been some fun games.
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're doing well.
No, that's cool.
How long do you have for us, Chris? I know you have your real life.
I mean, I'm gonna. I think I heard your comment when I was out the hallway.
It was meant to be a sneaky comment.
I think the quote is Chris Taylor has no staying power.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you were answering questions in real life, man.
No. Staying power is really important, and anybody listening to this who wants to do a game, anybody can start a game. It takes real grit, man, to finish a game and to put all the polish on it. The world is very good at filtering shit. Okay, look at YouTube. How many YouTube creators are there out there? Millions. And guess what? You all get to enjoy through formulas and things like that. In curation, you get to enjoy the top of the cream at the top. So does that stop you from making a great YouTube channel if you have ideas? No. You still do it because it's because you're inspired and you think you have something that you want to share with the world, and that's the same thing for gaming. So I like that debate. This is a fun debate, but we'll see how it goes. And I think I'm on the right side of this.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, like, there's this competition with, like, games like Fortnite or whatever, which are free, get, like, updated every 10 days, and have, like, really good content. And, you know, we are, to some extent, competing with that. So it does seem like it's challenging at the moment to be making an indie game. There's just a lot of competition.
That's true, but
Yeah.
also currently it has been one of the best years, at least these past couple of years, for indie games. You know, you've just seen like generally a kind of drop in AAA, and people kind of more end up kind of getting pushed to these indie games. You know, just classic hits that really, really did well in the indie space. So it's certainly going to be interesting because there's so many factors at play here.
If you look at,
Yeah.
excuse me, if you look at the recent Game of the Years, they've all been indies. So, you know, like Slay the Spire, games like that, you know, there's the indie space really is the place to be. Chris, there was a question about the Salem, the walking boat. Was this a result of being bored of the status quo?
That's great. Whoever put that together. You know, let me go back in my head. Oh my God! Are you talking about Soupcom 1, the destroyer that walks up onto the shore?
Yes.
The one with the legs.
The Cybran one, yes.
Yes. No, that was just pure. That was just pure fun. That was just an idea that it just seemed like in I forget what they're called in the United States, Marine Corps or Marines, the things that are the hover landing craft that have the big inflatable sort of like looks like a thing on it, and it just hovers right up onto the shore. I mean, they're kind of ridiculous. I mean, I don't think anybody would use one of those ever, right? They're ridiculous because you just shoot holes in them, and they just be it's dumb. Maybe they take weapon fire really well. I don't know. Maybe they bounce off, but it was sort of one of those things which, like, what would be better? What would be better than that? It would be something that just sprouts legs, and just walks up. And by the way, that was like one of the show stealers at the show where we rolled it out. It was in Germany, Gamescom, and we released that trailer and we did demos, and everybody just their jaws dropped when they saw the ship just sprout legs and crawl up on the shore. It was a big. And then there was the Atlantis, you know, the big carrier that literally comes up and all the fighters launch out of it. Do you guys have an equivalent super submarine?
No, we don't have any Navy yet at all, to be honest.
You don't have any Navy? Well, that's fine. You got something to grow into.
Yeah. But yeah, the Salems were certainly iconic, right? And it's interesting that Subcom is such a blend of like really like realism, and then with these like moments of just like kind of more zany stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, and Dr. Brackman. I mean, you know, I saw something and it looked like there was just a brain in a jar. And I was like, Dr. Brackman's a brain in a jar. That's it. And then the guys designed up and did all the dialogue and came up with all the stuff for him, where he talked like this sort of condescending professor. You guys remember Dr. Brackman? But you have the voice in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, oh my child, like this, right? Really sort of condescending and sympathetic all at the same time. I love Dr. Brackman. I think you could do a ton with Brackman. Like, he could have his own comedy show. I mean, he's just what a great character he was. All right, okay. I'm starting to lose my faculties now. Going down memory lane.
How much time do you have for us, Chris? We could talk.
I have as much time as you need.
Hours, but if you gotta go, we can.
If you need to kick me off your channel, if you need to kick me out, just give me I'll head out. But let's just put a thing on it so I can do my commute home in a reasonable time. So 3 more questions, something like that.
Okie dokie.
That's cool. 2 more questions.
We need the 2.5 most important questions.
Okay, let's do it. And is anybody listening to this enjoying this at all? Like, are we just
Oh
boring
my god,
this
this is
shit?
awesome. This is awesome. I even see in the
56
YouTube
people.
chat people saying, you know, thank you, Chris. You know, they played TA, they played Subcom. You know, there's a lot of people that are really enjoying this.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that makes me feel better. Thank you for that. I'm very fragile.
Swimmy the Shark asks, may I kindly ask you to ask Chris to provide more details about the scrapped Experimentals DLC for Supreme Commander Forged Alliance?
Oh, wow. God, what a great question, because I don't know the answer. There was a point, right, at that stage where things were really starting to get, like, businessy for me. And I designed, you know, I was doing design on the Experimentals. And to be really honest with you guys, it all starts to blur together in my head, like the stuff that I was doing on Subcom 1, Forge Alliance, and then Subcom 2. Like sometimes I have like hallucinations that I'm remembering the wrong unit from the wrong game. And besides the fact that I'm just getting old, there was a lot of material there. And hell, ask me if I can how many units I can remember from Total Annihilation, right? Because the other stuff just washes it right out of your head. And so I don't think I could really, but I wanted to communicate that, like that creative problem. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not a savant, you know, I don't remember every little thing that ever happened, but I remember the big moments, like when PC Gamer showed up to the office and Greg Viederman was the editor-in-chief of PC Gamer, and he saw the what has now become known as the Monkey Lord, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, "What's that? The Monkey Lord?" And I turned and I said, "Well, we haven't got a name for him yet, but now we do. And he's called the Monkey Lord."
And what is the connection to the unit? It's
What's
like
that?
nothing, right? What is the connection to the unit? There's like no
Zero.
connection at all. Right?
The only
Yeah.
connection is the Monkey Lord was Greg Viederman's first sort of impulse name, and that stuck.
It's like a King Kong kind of thing. I have a question. I'm just going to push in because I can do that.
Yeah.
What do you consider as being your legacy, or what game like that you made? Because you've worked on a whole bunch, right? You had you had Subcom, you worked on World of Tanks and stuff.
Dungeon
like when
Keeper,
you look back,
like you have so many.
Oh, not Dungeon
Well-
Keeper. That was Peter Molyneux, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but you know, a lot of people forget that I worked at EA for 8 years before I started working on Total Annihilation at what was then Humongous Entertainment. And I worked on a game there. My very first game was Hardball 2, so it's a baseball game on PC. So I had like 4.77 megahertz original recipe 1983 or 1981 PC, which by the way has hardly any power at all, and they ship with monochrome graphics. They're just There was just not a game machine, right? IBM was not like Windows. Sorry, not Windows. PC. What we think of as, you know, a gaming rig today is a direct descendant from that machine, right? The IBM PC from 1981. I don't know how many of you guys listening. I mean, many people listening probably weren't even born then, but the reality is it was not really a gaming machine. And I sat there and I was making a baseball game, and a baseball game is not necessarily my cup of tea, but I did the best damn baseball game I could. And then I went on to do a title called 4D Boxing. And what was interesting is that after working on baseball and boxing, it gave me all the skills I needed. This is like a lesson for those people who are, it's like the wax on, wax off of Karate Kid. Like, why the fuck am I waxing on and whacking off? I'm waxing off. Sorry about that one.
yeah.
Happens.
Why am I? Hey, no one ever asked why am I whacking off. We all know the answer to that question. It's implicit. The point is, the point is that we are sometimes in life we are made to do things that we think are useless and a waste of our time, and then it turns out that it was essential to our skill set that we built on down the road. So all that baseball, all that 4D boxing, it all came home, and I worked on, of course, Triple Play Baseball, which was like the sibling to FIFA, which was a huge game that Jan Tian and Joey Delasavia and those guys, they made this game. Mark Obanall and the gang, these guys built this amazing game, and I was going to build the baseball game to match it, and I was like, I don't know about baseball, and I was right. Baseball is not anywhere near as popular as soccer. But at the end of all of that, right, that was the end of my first phase of my career, and then I went out into the world, so to speak. I kind of left the dojo, and I went out into the world, and the first thing was Total Annihilation, and it really kind of scratched the itch to do something that matched my sort of eccentric personality. Where things had to blow up and, big explosion. The Michael Bay, if you will, part of me. Michael Bay is kind of famous director for blowing shit up.
It sure is. But what do you say is your legacy then?
What's my legacy is pushing and finding things that are kind of right under people's noses. Like design elements that were there the whole time. Like, look at what you're doing right now. Or someone, is this you playing, Mike?
No, I
This
think
is
we're
a
watching
video.
a video.
Yeah.
It's a video. So what you're seeing on the screen right now, right? Laying down and designing a base. Like, it just seems super, super obvious, but games just weren't doing that. Seeing weapon fire on a mini map, being able to move the main screen around, not just on the mini map, but being able to give orders, like give an attack order. So you don't have to, like back on TA, you didn't want to have to scroll a 2D sort of window over to the corner of the map to issue a command. You could just issue it on the mini map. I don't even know if you guys knew you could do that. Maybe you all know that. But there was just so many things. It was just like one thing after another, after another, after another. So anytime I approach design, not just game design, but I approach design, I look for things that no one else can see. I have the saying, you can look, but you can't see. And so you're driving down the road, and people are looking, but they're not seeing. And what I like to think I have is this ability to see things that other people can't see, opportunities that other people can't see in design, and make people go, cool, thank you, yes, I want that, this is great. This stuff, that, issuing orders out of a factory, having queuing up the factories, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, there's probably
But you say the legacy is not being a specific game title. It's more like the features.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's the
because
process almost. The ideas.
Yeah, because it's a set of things, right? It's game design all the way through. It's a through line. Because why would I want to say TA over SoupCom? Why would I want to pick one of the, like a parent? You don't want to pick one child as your favorite. They're all.
But it's one of those two then. It's one of those two. We live in a
oh, come on. Dungeon Siege did a ton of that same shit, right? Did a ton of that. It was the same sort of thing. Like, I want to be able to auto pick up all the loot. I want a pack mule instead of a party member, so I can carry like 3 or 4 times as much as a equivalent character, because I want to just min-max I want to vacuum clean the dungeons, which frustrated the shit out of me in Diablo 1. I had to keep running back and forth because I'm OCD about cleaning the dungeon, right? Vacuuming up every last little damn thing and converting it into gold.
It's a real RTS player right there.
Yeah. The vacuum cleaning. It's
The OCD.
the OCD. Oh, man, the OCD like lives with me every day. I was telling my girlfriend, I go, I'm totally OCD, and she goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, I can't leave a sock drawer open. I can't walk past a sock drawer that's open like 2 inches. Frankly, not even a half of an inch. Can you guys walk past a sock drawer?
I don't have a sock drawer. I just have a pile of socks on my floor.
Oh no.
You have a sock floor.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, because I got
Even
like a
in pairs?
wardrobe, but I just like shove everything on the floor and that's it. Because I don't have time.
You do a little scavenger hunt every time you have to find a pair of socks. That can
Oh,
be
dude.
fun.
Well, I should say that I'm Australian. I don't really wear shoes, but I've worn shoes like probably 20 times in the last 6 years. So
Oh wow, okay, that
No.
makes sense.
Not a whole lot of shoe wearing and socks happening over at my house. That's why we have
With thongs, right?
Yeah, we got thongs, mate.
Right,
Another
you
question?
said Chris could have 2 more questions, yeah. So I'm going to come to YouTube, so they don't feel left out. And there's 2. There was 2 that I picked out.
What's the YouTube channel?
Sanctuary Shattered Sun.
I'm gonna go there.
There's just a bunch of people watching this exact same thing but leaving different comments. We're streaming to 2 places at once.
So the first question comes from Tulio, who asks, any opinions on good things other RTSs are doing right now?
Oh, that would mean that I'm playing a bunch of RTS games, and Bar is probably the game that has kind of won me over in the last year, even more than ever, but over the last few years. They've taken things so over the top, and you guys are doing a damn good job of that as well. And I'm sure you probably follow some of that. But the map design that they've been doing has been incredible. I guess there's just not a lot of hours in the day to like kind of stay on top of what everybody's doing. I know like I think it's called Galactic Civilizations by Stardock. I see updates on that all the time. The developers, I think, are Canadian, and they are constantly putting out content. Unless I've got it wrong, I think it's Galactic Civilizations 2. Anybody help me?
I feel like
that?
they might be on 3.
It might be on 3 now.
Could be wrong about that, but
it's just hard, right?
Yeah.
You can't. It's like you can't watch every cool thing on HBO. You can't be everywhere at once. And but I would call those guys out, and those are my favorites. Like this game that we're talking, your game, and Bar are my two, faves. That's it.
Well, awesome. I think that's kind of ours too. That's the general consensus. People still play FAF as well, which is also really good, but Bar seems to be the one doing all the innovation.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bar's based off Spring, which was made by Subcom devs, wasn't it?
Don't know. I don't think so.
I think
It is.
after
It is.
Subcom,
It's-
some former...
Total Annihilation, Mike. Total
Yeah.
Annihilation. It's Bar's about 20 years old in all of its different iterations. It was a
0K
Spring mod for Total Annihilation, which then became Beyond All Reason.
Yeah, you got to give a shout out to FAF, Forge Alliance Forever, because really those guys have just been, I don't know, they've just been around, and they've held on to that, and they've kept it alive. They've just done great. So really, you see, you can't get into this game where you're picking one favorite over the other, but I'm going to say I have my 3 favorites now. I'm expanding it.
immediately adopting another child.
Well, when I did an update on my Kanugi site, I call out all 3, I think. And
Chris is doing his kissing babies routine where he has to be polite to everybody. We're the ones on the calls.
guys,
But it's like, yeah, you guys are number 2.
it's a losing game, right? I'm playing in a losing game of trying to pick favorites. So I'm working on my newsletter so I can send it out, but I run into some bunch of technical problems. But I've got many thousands of people signed up for the beta, and I want to send out those newsletters. So if you're on this and you haven't signed up for the beta, you could do that, or sign up and just create an account and grab your username. And if not, and you're just already signed up, you're going to hopefully get a newsletter before the Kickstarter's over, because I want to get a note out to all those people that are signed up for the beta that this is the Kickstarter still going on. So Mike, technically, if I wasn't on this call, I'd be working on the newsletter.
I'd rather talk to you. It's great to have you here, man. It's absolutely wonderful. Another question, Al? I think it's the last one.
Yep, one final question. Sigma Projects over on YouTube asks, what was the technical hurdles around getting Supreme Commander to run on multiple cores, as I remember it was supposed to, but it seemed like it couldn't fully utilize multi-cores.
Oh yeah, that's a great question for James Lowe, who's
Oh,
working
wait. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt. Brad's here.
Brad,
1 second.
where is he?
Where is he? Where is he?
Brad. Here he is. Hello, Brad. Brad Reeb was the game designer of Subcom Forged Alliance. Hello, Brad. You're on mute. Get on mute.
Hey, I did it. I found the mute button. How's it going, everyone?
Hey, welcome. Welcome to the party, man.
I only have a few minutes. I have to get my kid to bed, but I wanted to say hi.
I think he wants to say hi to you, Chris. Actually,
Yeah, hey,
Brad.
Chris.
Hey, Brad, it's been like how many years has it been since we spoke last?
It's been since COVID. We were going to get together, and then COVID hit, and then there was like, we didn't know anything that was going on with what COVID was, and we were like, maybe we should delay things.
Yeah, so in person, maybe. Oh God, maybe.
I think I saw you at a GDC when I was at Amazon. So that would have been 10 years ago, maybe.
Wow, it's crazy.
How's
Hey,
it been?
I've been great. Here's a fun fact. Jeremy Abels, you remember Jeremy, right?
Oh, yeah.
He works here with me at Sinclair.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he runs a development team here, and I dragged him into Enterprise Cloud. So I said, take a
the
break.
band's getting back together.
Hey, Brad, what are you
Jeremy's
doing?
great.
Do you want to get into Enterprise Cloud?
Maybe.
Okay.
Are you on Fortnite still, Brad?
What's that?
Are you still working for Fortnite?
Yeah, I'm working at Epic. I'm building tools for UEFN and UE6. It's been pretty cool.
It's cool.
Do you
Very,
work
very
remote?
cool.
I do. It's pretty great. Yeah, there's an office in Bellevue, but not many people go into it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we do 2 days a week here, and then we're 3 days at home. So it's a bit of a mix, but I kind of like getting out of the house, going for the taking the drive in every twice a week. It kind of feels like it's good to get out, but I mean, because if you're home all the time, I don't know. It feels like you'd be a little bit separated from the team, but like anything, you grow new emotional connections electronically, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely different. When I worked at Amazon, my team was distributed all over. I had engineers in the UK, engineers in Irvine, engineers in Austin. So even when I was in the downtown office, I was on Zoom all the time, anyways, or they called it Chime at the time. So that was pre-COVID. So I was already an expert when COVID hit on working from home and trying to find those ways to like schedule time and whiteboard together, and definitely it's a different skill set.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this game looks incredible, man. Like I just jumped in not too long ago, and just watching like the icons, and I mean it's really bringing me back.
Yeah,
Well,
and
there's
this
a lot
map,
of overlap between the games. Let's just put it that way.
this looks a little Seaton's clutchy.
Yeah.
I think it's actually called Totally Not Seaton's Clutch, or Legally Distinct Seaton's Clutch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love it.
Yeah, people call it different things.
C2
But to be
videos.
honest, we at every single opportunity try and not do what Subcom did, but it's just too good, man. Like all the time, it's so good. So many decisions were really good ones. So I think I'm gonna try and do something different with adjacency, just like to be different. But so much of it was great, like absolutely wonderful decisions.
Oh.
So
Adjacency, what a great design mechanic, a gameplay mechanic, and I'd say steal it. Yeah,
Do you
steal
remember how
it.
that came about, Chris?
No, tell me.
you were really frustrated that everybody on the team was building their bases really spread far apart because there was so much real estate on the huge maps that we were building, and you were like, bases just don't look like bases. And so we, I went in with, I don't remember who I was talking to. It was Jeff Peckow maybe, and we were like, well, like, what we need to give incentive for the bases to be built next to each other. So we came up with the adjacency bonuses so that, and then there was an artist, tech designer or tech artist that I worked with at Microsoft years ago that I am spacing on his name right now, and that really makes me angry. But he was like, yeah, and we can put like tarmacs under it if you create the adjacency bonus, so it'll look like a cohesive base. And we got it all hooked up, prototyped pretty quick, and you were happy with it.
Yeah, that is a great example of a need of innovative design satisfying a need, and it just the pieces fit together, and you've got it right, and it's one of those things. And then how do you go backwards from that? How does Mike not do adjacency? It's just because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Talking about that
well, we can do it a little bit differently, though. I think one thing that would make adjacency a little bit more mature is if there are different types and you had to pick which one that you do. So, like, let's say you had something next to a shield generator, you could either put the thing next to it that expands the shield radius, or put the thing next to it that expands the recharge rate, right? So they're both good things, but you have to pick which good thing you're going to have, and then you don't get the other thing. And that makes it more of a strategic choice, and it's more meaningful than just always do it,
Well, and if you have an active community, you can try some ideas, put them on a feature flag, say, hey, everybody, today, flip on the feature flag for this thing. We're going to try it out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Toss it. Yeah. Try something else. Like don't fall in love with an idea just and commit to it, just because. You can throw some stuff away.
Iterate. Yeah.
Try.
I think. Was that a polite way of saying my idea sucks? Is that what just happened there?
I love it. Anytime you're giving the player choices to make, that's going to be a meaningful, part of the game design. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I wasn't criticizing the idea. I'm just saying try new ideas. Like, it gives you license to try more ideas instead of letting them die in your head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Don't let them die there. Let them go. Let them breathe and play with it and experiment. And hey, Mike, with this AI thing, you can do a lot. If a lot of that lands on the programming side, you can code those up, try them out. If they don't work, then you're not breaking any hearts. Like back in the day.
That's interesting. It's a prototyping tool, right? And you can also, like, the code can be shit. It can even be unusable, but you can still just play it a bit, test it, and then work out, do we want to spend like 3 weeks making this properly?
Exactly. Because if you have an engineer sit there for a month or so writing code, and then you have to walk up to them and say, listen, we're not doing the thing that you just spent the last month on. That tends not to go over very well. You're throwing away a person's work, their life. So if you can use AI to prove that it's great before you make that human investment, you're really getting the best of both worlds. You're having your cake and eating it too. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I had an experimental that was just like flying over and had like crazy death lasers that it was shooting down.
Can you rewind again? It's we've got T5s. So besides the T4s, we have T5s as well. You can show the chosen one, maybe.
Yeah, you'll see it in a second.
We got a few of them. So this one, just disintegrates everything. This is very Michael Bay, by the way. Big energy wave. If we get the guard one, please, Phony. And this is it here. So this just shoots this energy curtain down. I was telling Chris about this earlier. So your commander actually goes in the T5. You can only build one. You go inside it, and if it dies, you die. And it's GG. So it's designed to be a game ender, because either way, you either win with it or you lose with it.
Brad, you were saying you were experimenting with something that shot lasers out like that, or Not like this, but like back in the day.
We had the satellite that we wanted to do the whole satellite layer, but we made it into an experimental.
The Novax.
The Novax. That's right. Some of the
Yeah.
names are escaping me, but yeah, that was it.
And with the satellite layer, is that something you don't do because of money, or do you not do it because it's just not the best game?
I was
Oh,
never
go
a
ahead.
fan of Satellite. I was never a fan. It felt like it was the finger of God, Zod in Command and Conquer. There was a Command and Conquer unit that just zapped things, I think. Does anybody remember Command and Conquer super weapons?
There was the ion cannon. You mean like that?
Maybe it was the ion cannon.
Just the blue bolt from the sky.
That's it. That's it.
I've never been a fan of the orbital stuff, but for Sanctuary, because we're on a Dyson sphere, we could have units underneath. So on the shell underneath the ground, there could be units there, and then you could have like burrowing units, and they could dig up and all that sort of stuff. But I actually just don't think that's really fun, right? Yeah, we could do it, but should we do it? And I don't think
Right.
so.
And we had those
And-
same discussions about the orbital layer as well. And I think the reason why we didn't do them for Forged Alliance was we didn't want to build out the whole unit set for all the factions. Like that would have been way too much for that. But also we weren't convinced that adding it was gonna actually add anything that would be fun to the game, right? Because at that point you need, you launch your satellites. Now you have, killer satellites. Now you have how do the air units interact with the satellites? Can they shoot them down? Can only some of them go up to the orbital layer and some of them can't? Like it started to like really spiral for that expansion. But we had the idea with what we liked about the Novak was that when you launched it, the command center for it was visible on your map, so it gave something you had to defend. And then if your enemy could take it out, your satellite would crash, destroying everything underneath it. So it wasn't this like helpless thing where you're watching the satellite travel across the map and you're like, I need to take out its command center before it gets to me, but it was really slow. Like that was the tension we were trying to build with that unit.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great lesson in game design that you just gave as well. Right? Creating a super weapon with a vulnerability, because otherwise it's just no fun for the other player.
Right.
Yeah, I think the problem though is that it's just too easy to defend. You build like 10 shields and you've got this sort of invincible thing. So then to combat that, they have to nerf the unit and make it so it doesn't do that much. And then, this is the problem with the unit. I know in FAF it's been rebalanced over and over again while they try and grapple with that problem.
Yeah, the shields are a tough gameplay mechanic. They're just they have overlap. You can build a base and have 20 shields all overlapping each other, and then the power production system is inside the shields. Now, if you told me, hey, you can't build a nuclear or fusion reactor inside of a shield, it has to be on the outside, it starts to actually make the shields a little bit more like vulnerable, but still have some fun gameplay value. Like I think there's an opportunity to really rethink the shields, because they like in bar there's just shield mania.
What's interesting about the bar shields is they actually don't absorb; they deflect. So oftentimes what happens is you're just kind of prolonging yourself because the projectile gets deflected and then lands somewhere else. Whether it's your ally's base or, it has a crazy ricochet and then falls back on the enemy base. But the bar shields are a lot of fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
That emergent gameplay, we talked a lot about that, Chris, during SoupCom development, the emergent gameplay of the ballistic attacks versus direct attacks, and you launch a artillery shell in the air and a gunship flies by and it happens to be go in the path of the artillery shell and gets hit by it. Like we tried to really build a lot of that into SoupCom.
Yeah, I love when I first heard the terminology emergent behavior and emergent gameplay. It was like it was some sort of just word salad. Like what? And then when you start really thinking about it, oh, there we go. When you start thinking about how everything in the early days was pre-programmed or it was predetermined, and all the Command and Conquer and the Warcrafts and the Starcrafts, all of those games were flat, immediate hit, 100% connect projectiles. Yeah, and we introduced with, well, I guess it goes back to Total Annihilation, the simulation. And then once you have the simulation running, it opens all these doors for gameplay that surprises you and you may never see again in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the crazy thing. You could see something you never see again. Although I don't know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your guys' plan on like air in Sanctuary?
Oh, it's a Sanctuary question, not a Chris or Brad question.
Maybe that's a cue. That's the end of the show for me.
No, I'm sorry.
We need you to stay.
No. I'm waiting for the end. I've been pushing to get to the end because we're going to talk about this game. So good. Let's keep roll. Let's roll right into your question and let's go there.
Well, that's not too much to say. We're just going to have the fighters and bombers and multiple tech levels. There'll be the usual transports. We can do some cool things with like cluster bombers. That can have nice bombing runs. And I particularly like the idea of EDA having like some, because they're our desperate faction, they kind of like resort to trickery to like win battles, so they could have like a crash land ability on their transport, right? Where their transport dies in the process, but they just land really, really quickly, so they can drop fast.
If EDA is going for like trickery, you could make like a stealth bomber or something like that. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, well, 100%. To be honest, we haven't even like designed or looked at the unit rosters for at this point. But we've just been focusing on the land and base stuff for now. But all that will be coming soon as we progress. One question I had for the boys actually is just about how you guys would do the concept art and stuff, because or come up with the ideas in the first place. Because what we do is we get lots of references in different media, and we just like look for other things from cool movies and stuff like that we like. Now we're watching The Office. That's awesome for me. At least it's a good show. And so we end up with like this big board full of all these different things that we could do from different games and movies. A lot of it comes from movies, to be honest. And then we come up with our own ideas from that, and we say, oh, it could look a bit like this, but with that bit and things like that. Did you guys do a similar process?
Hey, Brad, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take it. So I think, we had the spiritual success, the footsteps of, what we were trying to follow. And so we kind of use that as sort of a starting point. But really, I think the thing that I spent a lot of time with Chris on was we would put together these, unit lists. And we spent a lot of time talking about how the units interacted with each other, right? Like, okay, we have bombers, the Cybern faction, we wanted to be more like Swiss Army knives of functionality, so maybe those bombers could have some AA attached to them, right? Like, whereas the Aeon were very single purpose, very focused, so their bombers you actually have to accompany with fighters. So like we really were thinking about like the rock, paper, scissors, not like the spreadsheet of it, right? Like, fire damage is strong against plant, which is strong against water, which is strong against fire, right? Like not like that, but more like in our simulation that we're building, what are the tools and choices you'll use to defend your units, to create well-rounded groups of units, but also how do you counterattack the units you're seeing your opponent sending your way, right? And
Yeah,
we took
and everything has a
into
counter, right? Which
what's
is an
that?
important part of, and everything had a counter, which is an important part of the recipe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But in addition to like just thinking about the units, we were also thinking about the terrain, right? Like units, how do units traverse water? How do they traverse elevation? Like how do they handle how do they fire? Can this unit fire over a hill if you have a spotter? This one being direct fire, that hill's going to get in your way. You need to summit it where you might be getting bombarded. So yeah, like thinking about all of the various parts of your game here, like I saw in one of the videos you have, parts of the planet that falls away. So some units maybe can handle that better than others, right? Like, but thinking about when you have an idea, like Chris would come in and say, I want the destroyers for the Cyberans to sprout legs and be able to come on land. It's like, okay, cool. How do the other factions then deal with that?
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, I think you're grabbing reference from everywhere, from movies, TV, comic books, whatever is great. But then thinking how that piece fits in to with the large collection of units that you're building. Oh, Chris, anything to add there?
No, I think that's really great, and I kind of like that. There's an implication that I'm a little bit of a shit disturber.
No,
because,
no.
No, in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I kind of
I'm pretty sure Brad used the words once, chaotic energy, which really resonated with me because that was 4 years ago, and I still remember.
Yeah,
but that's what you want, right? You need that. That's the brilliance. Otherwise, it would be a soulless game where you get a tank, you get a tank, you get a tank.
Sure.
You need that.
That's what I'm trying to get at, right? I'm trying to get at the fact that it's kind of true that you sort of create these scenarios where folks have to, and Brad, who's on this call, had to go, well, shit, what do I do with that? How do I reconcile that against the rest of the game? But if you can't come up with something, then at least it was worth trying. But quite often innovation or ingenuity and creative problem solving, and by the way, problem solving over time. Don't think because you don't have an answer to a design problem this instant that there is no design answer. You might come up with one in 2 weeks, and you can come back or next on the expansion pack or on the sequel. You don't have to have all the answers right here, right now in this meeting, and that's some really powerful game design kung fu that can take a while to develop those skills, and it's pretty neat to talk about it.
100%. Hey, Phony, you can play a game now. Vinny's ready for you. So, this whole session is dedicated to someone beating Phony, because he just wins like every game. So it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I guess my question was more about visually. Like, when you look at the experimentals and it has this big laser beam and stuff, like, I mean, we would just brainstorm visually how it would look before we started work on it.
Well, on that front, you want, really great art direction, right? We had Steve on Soupcom who had, or maybe Chris, maybe this originated from you. I don't quite remember. The UEFN being, square, and the Cybran being triangle, and the Aeon being circle, right? And all of the visual design sort of came out of that, I believe.
That's someone could do those artists, those art directors, Kevin Puns, TJ Frame, and there was so many. There was Rob, all the names. I'm so sorry to all those great, talented people that I can't just ramble off all their names off the top of my head. These folks would generate countless concept art pieces and color studies and design language, and they were using words that I didn't even understand. I was just like, we got to create 3 cool factions here. How are we going to get there, right? And and there, remember the Cybran were the before they were the Cybran, they were the junkyard faction. They were junk. They were bolted together with odd bits and pieces and plate metal, like a shanty town of weaponry. And we kind of knew that wasn't really going to work. That rusty sheet iron kind of look, and then it cleaned up, and then it became the Cybran. And what a great story! That evolution of a visual design process where you get to something that you really like, and you kind of forget how you got there. And you just say, "Here we are." And let's look at how cool this is. And Dr. Brackman and Evan Pongras, shout out to him.
I haven't heard his name in a long time.
He worked so hard on solving so many problems in various forms over the years, the Dungeon Siege, and then I think he left the company for a while and he came back, and I can't remember whether he was around for SoupCom or it was SoupCom 2. I know he did a ton of great UI and UX work, but he always had a lot of great insights, and that's the other thing, like Brad, you and I, like, we're pretty, what's the word to describe, fair. Any idea is valid. Doesn't matter who it's from. We always listened. We always were interested in the best idea.
I try. I've gotten better about that over the years, for sure.
I'm trying to think. There's probably a really eloquent word that describes a person. There's a saying, a wise man will listen to a fool, but a fool won't listen to a wise man. And that's kind of where we were. We were trying to listen to everybody, and we always made the joke, if the cleaning staff came in and they leaned over the desk and said, "Hey, that should have a gun over there," and it was a good idea. Like, it didn't matter. It's not like, "Hey, you're not on the design team. What are you doing?"
How do you reconcile that with just getting shit done? Like, at the end of the day, you can't spend all day talking about 1,000 ideas. You need clear direction to move forward, right?
It's true, but you don't go out necessarily soliciting, but you listen. If somebody comes to you with passion, you listen. That's. I think we're good at that. Brad, do you think I'm just making up a history that didn't exist? Do you think that matches your memory?
I think you were really good at that. Yeah, especially like the bigger, the bolder. You wanted to encourage and foster that, right, in people, and that really stuck with me during my career, as far as like seeing how you did that in a way. Like Mike just said, like, how do you do that in a way without it getting in the way of shipping the game, right? So you want to give those opportunities to the team, because then they're more invested in it, right? Nobody wants to work on a project where you're just a tool for somebody else, right?
It's hard. It's a hard way to phrase it, but it's the notion that, like, you're not in this. You're in this to put your own mark on it. You want to leave your legacy in there somewhere, and for the most part, people, I think, achieve that. And, like, that's what I was talking about earlier, Brad, before you were on here. I wish those folks could all be on this retrospect. We've turned this into like this sort of nostalgic look back. But I wish they could all be here to talk about their journey, their personal journey of what they would, from their perspective, what they experienced building that. That's a damn cool factory, by the way.
That was really awesome.
Yeah, that looks really great.
That's the god. So these are the robots that built Sanctuary, the Dyson Sphere, and after the war started, they had to tool up to fix things. So they have like a special relationship with the planet that you're working on, which is interesting because you were talking about the junkyard faction, and I remember in the Subcom 1, the Mantis, the T1 tank for Cybran, was called a like a replicator. Were they meant to replicate at some point?
I don't remember the T1 Cybran units replicating.
I think it was just in the name, but because we always spitball different ideas that we could do. Like, for example, these guys who are the builders, instead of harvesting reclaim, they could turn it into zombie units, right? Like, bring them back from the dead, but with like 10 HP. So that's just a completely different relationship with Reclaim that these guys have. You guys are on the same team, aren't you? Is it funny?
Yeah, for some reason we I think I missed that we were on the same team.
You guys are doing a 1v1 where you're on the same team. So great game, guys. Well, that's the closest. That's the closest Phony came to losing so far. So you're winning, Vinny.
I thought I was an observer or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, you're gonna have to rehost that game.
Yeah.
So
I'm really sorry, but I got to get my kid to bed.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Thanks for inviting me up. It was great to chat with you all. Chris, good to hear from you, man. I'll reach out. We need to get together.
That was nice. Nice to see you. And we don't have COVID now, so we can get together for lunch.
Let's do it. I need a piece of your pottery. I don't think I've gotten one.
Oh yeah, and I'm launching my go to Chris Taylor Pottery. It's launching in January.
Okay. Great.
It's ridiculous. I vibe coded this site and I just laughed my ass off. Anyway, story for another day. Have a good one.
Right, Brad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
Nice
to meet you.
See ya.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Well, that was fun.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, wow, talk about a lot of stuff over the last few hours. A lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Going back.
I think it's like there's just been a smile on my face this whole discussion, right? Like hearing it all. But I think it's good for you guys as well. And obviously, like Brad came on, he didn't come on to talk to me. He came on to talk to you, right?
Well, I'm just glad he didn't say, yeah, Taylor was a jerk. Oh, wait, he's on the call?
Yeah. No. You need to get the band back together, man. Just I wish I was over there. I want to come to lunch.
It's a thing. Well, you know, my game is very small, so you're not going to see anything from me. Mine is a playful thing. It's a fun thing. It's a hobby. So I'm glad you guys are doing this. I hope everybody continues. I hope Bar and Faf and your game and you guys all, because you're all carrying on kind of you're carrying the torch into the future. You know, everyone in their own way, and that's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know the team really appreciates it, and you can see from all the comments that everyone's very excited that you are here. And just thanks heaps for all the support. Thanks for backing Game Consultant.
Yes,
thank you. That's huge. You didn't have to do that.
When you said that, I had no idea that I had the level of backing was Game Consultant.
Yeah, that's the name of that tier, and it gets you like certain. Well, you just pretend you did that intentionally here, but you get certain rights, and one of the things that you get is part of a group that gets to consult on certain game features, which doesn't mean we do everything you say. It just means that you get to be heard, I guess, and get to be in the discussions while the team is designing certain features. And they're kind of like things like peripheral stuff. It's like, the profile screen where you have your player profile and some other things like that. It's not like, shields or a core game mechanic. But you're one of us now.
Well, and not to take that too seriously, but I don't want to interfere with your creative by being a consultant that says here's what I think. I think you've got enough consulting from me historically.
Yeah.
You've got
it. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I was thinking about asking you to come on the Kickstarter with me because a long time ago you said you would, right? But I'm like, we don't need Chris anymore. Like, it's great to have you here, but I don't feel like we depend on your legacy to write our own anymore. We've got our trailer, we've got our demo. We kind of stand on our own two legs. So
that's right. Perfect. Well said. And I think you guys, honestly, when I look at the Kickstarter numbers, have they gone up much in the last day? I mean, I don't watch the dollar amount, but you seem to be doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're doing nice, man. We're crossing off all our stretch goals and stuff. So the amount of money that we've got will take us to early access, which is pretty cool.
Okay, well, I'm going to work on my newsletter thing, so I'm going to blast out hopefully get a newsletter up before it's over. I'll try. There's some things I got to do. Got to get off my butt, get it done, and that'll be my way of hopefully putting a little bit more wind in the sails. Maybe we'll get a few more bucks. But I'll be cheering you on. I'll be checking in and cheering you on, and you can reach out if there's anything you think I can do to help, other than some of what I'm already doing. And all the best, and I can't wait to see you guys wrap this up and make it to that final goal line.
And play a game, right?
Oh, well, of course.
I need to 1v1 you.
You know, it's funny. I didn't have a PC for many years, and then last year, I have my son who was 19 at the time. I said, "Build me a gaming rig," and he built it. And he built it in the original Supreme Commander case. So the airbrush Supreme Commander case has my new gaming rig in it. Which,
Wow.
if you're
That's
curious,
very
I'll send you a picture
awesome.
of that. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, send us a
AMD.
pic.
AMD made that rig, built that, and sent it to us, and I got to keep it, of course, because that's how those things go sometimes when you own the company.
I've never seen or heard of this before. This is new information.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool case. I guess you'd call it a case, and then we gutted it of the old 20-year-old hardware, and we put all new guts in it, and it's basically a slick new with the latest GeForce and all that in it, or whatever it's called. I mean, I don't even know what the latest thing from NVIDIA is anymore. I mean, that's
I need to buy some pottery off you, Chris, so I can give it away to the community as competition prizes. Anyone who kills Phony today gets a Chris Taylor pottery piece.
What about
Here's how
me?
we
What
do
if I win? I want a piece.
Here's what we should do. We should create promo codes, and then when you win, you give them one of the promo codes. It's a one-use. It's like a Steam code, and they go to the site and they just redeem it, and then they get the bowl, and then I can donate that. You know what I mean? Trouble is, you're in Australia, and you're still in Australia, right?
Yeah, and the shipping costs are nuts.
The shipping is going to be triple the price of the bowl. It's even Canada was so expensive with exchange, with tariffs, with taxes and shipping, that it would be like a $50 bowl was like $158 Canadian. I shit you not.
Yeah, I think the Canadians don't have the best situation when it comes to shipping, because because I've just gone through this to ship my rewards to all over the world and pricing that. But it seems like the way most companies do it is they ship it to the States, then it goes in the post to Canada, and then they hit the tariffs, and there just isn't enough volume to ship directly to Canada, which would skip that.
Yeah, I'd be better off to smuggle. If you're a Canadian border guard person, don't listen right now. Put your fingers in your ears.
Unless you want a really good tip.
Yeah, and then just basically drive it over the border and then ship it from inside Canada. Because I live only an hour and a half south of the 49th parallel, otherwise known as
your
the
family.
Canadian.
You just send it to your family over there, and they can do it.
Well,
awesome. Well, I feel like we covered a lot. We covered the smuggling, the game, the Kickstarter. We really managed a lot.
We swore. We talked about, what was it? Waxing off?
Yeah, we whacked off. That was good.
I think for the kids, we have to say waxed off. We don't really want to be that explicit. But anyways, okay. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for treating me so well. Makes me feel good all over to know that somebody gives a shit about all this stuff. It's amazing.
We do. We do. We still do. Thanks so much, Chris. See you later.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Ow.
All right.
I have absolutely no idea where we are with questions. I think Phony said this is going to be his last game. I think. Is that right, Tony? Have you had enough? Are you
Well,
Vinny
we're 3 hours
too
in.
much
I
pressure for you?
figured we eventually have to find a time to settle down. But
Yes,
it's really
yes,
up
we
to
do.
you guys. I mean, it's been a blast, and I actually haven't been playing. I've just been watching some videos and listening to some cool stories. So
Yeah. I think I'm a bit all talked out as well, to be honest. If we do have any questions, guys, we can go through them really quickly, but I think you're probably all talked out as well. So we'll put this video up on YouTube where I think people might want to tune in and hear some of the stuff that Brad and Chris had to say. Phony's still crushing it.
I almost died. Look at it. I had 300 health there for a second. I was really
Nice.
close.
But you won.
Yeah, that was close though.
GG.
GG.
I just want to say that's my third time playing this game.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
Not bad,
Well done,
man.
Well done.
Thank you.
So I've been speaking to our pal Steel Speaks, who wants to do some casting. So he's going to join us in a little while, and we'll see what we can do to get some. He wants to cast some games on his channel, which I'm quite happy to do. But Mike, Phony, if you want to draw this to a close, because it has been 3 hours, that's totally cool, and I'll see if I can finagle some sort of community takeover of the 1v1 tournament.
Okay, cool. All right, well then I will bounce out. But if you need a hand with anything else, you can. I'll be around, so I can help you with
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
That's
I'll send you a message if I need you.
that's same for me. I'll be around. I'll just be to hop off and eat some dinner. But just
mate.
let me know.
Okay. Then, Vinny, I need you to stay, because if Phony is too chicken to take you on, that makes you king of the hill, ready to face the next challenger. Are you up for that?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
He was the
Oh
closest.
my God!
one.
What's
No,
happening?
no, Phony. You're just scared of like how good I am. That's why I ran. Like, what can I
Very.
say?
I was the closest.
So Vinny is now, and we'll see how long it lasts. Vinny is now the ultimate gamer. If
Yep.
you look at his profile, he's got his little trophy and everything.
Nice.
Let's see who's next.
Vinny's yellow. He gets
Yeah,
a yellow
Vinny's-
name. Ultimate
Vinny's yellow
gamer.
with a trophy. We
Okay.
have.
I'm
Okay,
punching
guys.
out. See you guys. Thanks, Al. Bye bye.
Thanks, dudes.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. Well, I'll be closing the YouTube stream shortly. So thank you for tuning in. If you guys are tuning in for YouTube, if you want to continue watching the 1v1s, I guess you'll be present on the stage, Al.
Yep. Come and join the Discord, and it will be continuing. Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that's it.